going, now we are live, and I'm going to end this live stream here.
The apocalypse is coming. Are you scared?
Behind the scenes,
Are you prepared? The masses are running, frantically running from their fears, running with their tears, running from their lives, running from that dark shadowed creature that hides deep inside.
I need an engineer.
Well, you have a son.
I don't know.
He'd be like, "No, Dad."
That's not saying much.
Yes, you're doing it.
That's not saying much at all. It's like, how you been?
I've been okay. Here wondering what the summer will bring
Oh God, yeah.
in terms of craziness, because you can see that they keep throwing shit at us to avoid the reality of what's going on.
Oh my God, yeah.
You got the alien stuff that a lot of people are gobbling up like
I know.
Like
I don't
crackheads.
understand how people could just like fall for that. They're like, well, the aliens. I was like, come on, man. They tried that in the 90s. It didn't work with me. I mean, it's just like, I don't know.
And here's the thing, like, to me, it's just like, this is on a big if. It's a conditional.
Right.
Really, like, so what?
So
It's great.
Exactly.
It's like finding out you found new creatures in the ocean.
Right.
That's wonderful. That's great.
Right.
But we still got child raping, cannibal
Right. No one wants to talk
motherfuckers
about
running
that.
us.
Exactly.
So, unless they're going to help us.
Right. Right.
If you're coming to help us or you're going to help them, then we might have some problems. But
Right.
no, I think it's pretty.
It's worse than aliens. It's worse. It's worse than
Yeah.
aliens. Aliens is the least of our problems. You know what I mean?
Big time.
It's like, come on.
Big
If we
time.
really, aliens is not newsworthy anymore. This is what they did in the 90s with X-Files and all these alien shows, and
That was fun.
it was
I still
fun,
watch
but it was a distraction nonetheless. But-
Yeah, I mean, that was like,
You
that
know,
was
like
fun in the
Independence
sense. I was
Day,
took
all
those
that
urban
stuff.
legends, right? It's like, oh,
Right.
that's kind of cool, but I
But
still
what was the
have-
distraction that they were trying to avoid us from looking at then?
Right. There is something from X-Files that was very interesting, though.
Mhm.
There was a clip that was going around, and we wouldn't be able to play it because basically our video gets shot.
Right.
But they were talking about the hantavirus and unleashing a pandemic to kill a whole bunch of people and all this shit. So sometimes X-Files got it right.
Yeah, of course. They were getting the data from the CIA.
Oh yeah. Well,
I mean, they were saying that the Pentagon was actually writing episodes. They later admitted that.
yeah, I could see that. I could see
So it was
that.
like a government-funded show. It's like
Well, you know that if you
state-sponsored sci-fi. I actually got that clip set up so we could actually watch that. Well, whether we get because it's on a reel, maybe we won't get hit with it directly because it's not a YouTube video or something.
Oh, so you knew the clip outside?
Yes, I got the clip. And
Yeah, you
so-
shared a lot of videos with me. I wasn't sure if you saw that one.
Yeah. My
I've been a
brain
little
is,
low key this week because
Yeah.
of my feed is all freaking aliens,
right.
and frankly, I get it. There's some people who really love that shit, and there's part of me that enjoys it, but enjoys it like, oh, I need a break from the regular human news. Let me
yes,
just see
exactly.
that's kind of neat.
Right.
And then as a writer, you think, wouldn't it be cool if you did this or you did that? But that's for fiction, right?
Right.
I did get to see the Michael movie with my daughter. on
Wasn't
Tuesday.
that great?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I mean, you wanted more, and that's when you have a good movie when you leave the theater just like,
Some things were out of order, though.
yeah, I would say so.
There were a lot of things out of order, and this is just me. Having lived through that, I thought, it'd be kind of cool if they had a shot of fans on the street just doing their thing and just showing people doing like how it was. People
Right.
with beat it jackets, thriller jackets, the
Right.
glove. It was like everywhere. And
It
then like
was.
MJ drives by and he looks out the window and sees that this because that was that was the experience we had, right?
Right. Right. And
And
then
they
they had that and the Eddie Murphy jackets from that live show that he did. You know.
right, yeah. I mean there were a lot of things like that. The other thing that was interesting is that they really could have teed it up much better with the civil rights movement
Yeah.
because him getting on MTV, I mean, they did an okay job, but I mean, they sort of like flattened it,
Right. Right.
right? Because really, when Michael is playing, it's still during the period of segregation.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're born in 73, so it's about like 7 years out from
Yeah.
the civil rights bill.
Yeah.
And so people have to put that into context. They didn't give that context of like, this is why he was such a big deal.
Right.
There were things, but on the other hand, I understand too. You have white producers,
Mm-hmm.
um, and for anyone that's like, oh, complains about Black Panther or Sinners and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you have to realize what they have to go through to get those movies even made to that level.
Right.
Because
I mean,
white producers will be like, no, we don't want this.
yeah.
Or like in the case of what's that movie? Hidden Figures.
Oh yeah, Hidden Figures. Yeah.
Hidden Figures, Kevin Costner's character didn't exist.
Right. He just made up.
They just made it up because they're like of the idea, oh, we always need a sympathetic white character.
Mm-hmm. And
You
even in Malcolm X, the Malcolm X movie, it was directed by Stan Lee. I mean Stan Lee.
Spike Lee.
Spike Lee.
Spike.
Stan Lee. He
Hey,
took
true
credit for
believer.
that too.
Yeah.
The whole scene where he got the Muslim religion in prison is somewhat accurate, but it wasn't solely that. It was his actual sister and his brothers that when they were separated, when they rejoined, was how he found the Muslim movement was through his siblings. Not he came back to it in prison, but his sister, his older sister, and his brother were the ones that really got him in there. If you read the autobiographical book that was put together with him and forget his name.
Alex Haley.
Alex Haley, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff that movie left out as well, and they kind of like the guy wasn't created, but he was basically amplified more than.
Which is interesting because considering that Elijah Muhammad was supposed to be so radical,
right?
But I guess Malcolm he was a true believer. And I think that's what became very dangerous for the system, that he really believed in it.
Right.
What's also interesting too is that, and I've talked to Muslims before about this, and yeah, they tell me all the time, we actually don't consider the Black Muslims to be Muslims.
Right. It's a different thing. It's kind of like Jehovah's Witnesses. They're
yeah. It's its own thing.
Its own thing, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess some people don't consider Latter-day Saints or like Christians. Some people don't consider Catholics Christians, but it goes back to that saying of white people don't like each other.
Well, yeah, the part about not considering Catholics to be Christian.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a little ridiculous. Like, well, isn't that the one that kind of started?
Well, because
it's like
I hate to say it, if you think that, where'd you think you got your Bible?
Right, exactly.
You got your Bible from the Catholics.
Right.
You just strip out a few books and hey, away you go. So that was always kind of funny to me.
A lot of modern day American Christians are like that. They're like, oh, we don't really believe what the Catholics believe. Well, yeah, where do you think you got the King James Bible? It's like, yeah.
It was just a political move to get out from under the yoke of the Vatican.
Yes.
But here's steal a lot of money from the Vatican, because when they kicked out the Catholic Church, they were able to scoop in and take all that property and money from the Catholic Church in England.
Right.
Yeah. So
here's something a little off topic, but I think newsworthy.
Okay.
Tomorrow, Monday, in the Lower East Side, they're going to rename one of the Essex streets Jack Kirby Way.
Yeah, I heard about that. It's
and
wonderful.
they already did Yancey Street when the Fantastic Four movie dropped, and tomorrow noon on Essex and Delancey, they're gonna on the same pole that's they're gonna have Jack Kirby commemorated, which is cool. It's about time. Um, but yeah, again, it's another distraction. Since
Well,
it's comic related, I wanted to mention it.
I mean, our brain can't always be focused on things, or it'll get very depressed. We
Right.
need those little distractions to sort of give us breathers in between reading all the horrible shit that we're reading, because
Right.
else the life just becomes very
Yeah, unbearable.
dark. Yeah,
Dark.
very dark. You need those things to realize, oh, this is the reason why we should fight to make things better, so we can think of other things,
Right.
not
Right.
always be focused on the stupid shit that our ruling class wants for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. Very true.
You know, I get, yeah, sometimes I need a break. So it was
Yeah.
nice watching that Michael movie because of that. And it
Uh,
brought back a lot of memories too. And it made me think, you've seen Lovecraft Country, right?
oh, I love that movie. I love that TV
Yeah.
show.
And there's
I was.
that episode where she's able to travel and space and lives all these different lives, right? The
Mhm.
mom. And
Yeah.
watching the Michael movie, it reminded me of something. And this is still a struggle, but we don't talk about it as much. And
Mhm.
it was probably the reason, it's kind of like watching that movie reconnected me with this idea, more so than even Lovecraft Country, that we as people who are non-white, we're not allowed to, I wouldn't say we're not allowed to, but we're boxed into not using our imaginations enough.
Right.
So when you watch Michael, how he liked Thriller, he really was out there and pioneering something that we were kind of, maybe they were novelists, they're novelists and science fiction novelists, but overall, as how we're viewed as people, both brown and black, it's you're in the hood. The story that
Right.
you're going to write is about someone in the hood.
Right.
That's it. Don't come to me with like science fiction stuff because that's not you,
Right.
right? And Michael very much broke that with Thriller. Well, Speed Demon was a lot of fun too. He was able to exercise his imagination,
Right.
and I think whatever one says about him believing any of the nasty stuff or not believing in it, I think that's a very important thing for black and brown people, that we should be pushing to allow our imaginations to run free. It
Right.
isn't just a white person's thing. Like just recently, did you see what happened to George Lucas?
No, what's happening to George Lucas?
So May 4th, him and his wife, Melody, who's black,
Yeah.
wished everyone a happy 4th. And
Right.
online, a lot of people who I guess didn't know that he was married to a black woman were going off on this freaking racist tirades.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you. Now, mind you, some were gropers, but let's think about Star Wars fandom and just fandom. There is a lot of racism.
Oh,
When
big time.
John Boyega was playing, the whole stormtrooper thing, whether you like the story or not, why are you freaking out over a black stormtrooper? It's a fantasy thing. Why are we not allowed to be, so it's okay to be with Muppets in
Right.
space,
Right.
with lasers and magic. But a black fucking person gets into the situation, all of a sudden it's like that's not believable.
Right.
You
Doesn't make
know, and
any sense.
again, it goes back to that idea that we're not supposed to be, we're supposed to somehow, I don't know, exist in this world that's just like basically on cops or something. We're not
Right.
allowed to be creative. And that's what I took away from it, sort of reconnected me with Michael, but I was also thinking about that Lovecraft Country episode, um, in which, yeah, black and brown people are not allowed to do that. And that's why they get so upset. That's why they get
Uh,
upset.
Here's something interesting about I don't know. I haven't read the credits thoroughly, so I can't say this is factual, but here's an interesting tidbit. I was working on I was working on the Watchmen TV show. I guess I can say it. It's out there. It was called Project Brooklyn. I don't know why, because it wasn't filmed in New York. It was filmed like in Georgia or something.
Yeah.
And actually, the original opening, I worked with the background department. So the original opening of Watchmen was supposed to be in a comic book store. And in that comic book store was some of my books, among other comics, and some of like the banners and stuff, Bronx Hero stuff, and some of our comics. And originally they wanted me to create a sci-fi comic book. And it was gonna like kind of stream through this sci-fi narrative. But then that didn't happen. They went with the stronger point, which was the 1920 massacre of Tulsa, with the the Bass Reeves Cowboy, which is similar to Brother Lone Star, which was on set. They had copies of my books on set, so maybe it's like. But the reason why the sci-fi didn't happen, because number one, they wanted Captain Victory. I researched that Captain Victory was not in public domain. They wanted me to create an original story for Captain Victory. And then I was like, why do you want to go through all this stuff? Because DC wanted to charge HBO $16,000 to have a Superman comic on screen. So my thing was like, well, you got all my independent comic books there. You already got the scene set up. Why don't you just use one of my characters? And that's why I think that because Bass Reeves is mentioned in my book with the Black Cowboys. Like I had the history of Black Cowboys in there. So I'm not saying that I'm 100% responsible for that opening, but definitely I'm pretty sure I was helped influence it indirectly because my books were on the set when they were the writer's room, and they actually rewrote that. They got rid of the sci-fi opening because I wasn't going to do it for free. I wanted to get paid. And they're like, well, we'll give you a credit. And I was like, I'm not 25 years old. I got bills to pay. It's like they wanted me to come up with 4 comic books that were going to be essentially one comic, but spread out into 4 separate issues, 4 separate covers.
That's
and
a
they
lot
would
of
have
work.
blanks in between. It's a lot of work. And they wanted that for free. I was like, you guys are HBO. Come on, give me a break.
It's like, how about this? You give me 4 films for free.
Right. Right. Give me 4 movies.
Yeah, make me 4 movies and we'll talk about that. Yeah.
Right. It's like, give me a break. But that's just, and then so when Lovecraft Country came out and they had that whole sci-fi twist with in their storyline, I was like, that's kind of like, it wasn't, now mind you, I didn't write a storyline for the sci-fi, but it was kind of the same concept. Like, I guess, because it's HBO and HBO. So I was like, maybe some of the writers took stuff from that pilot and then integrated into that, because, and if you notice, they kind of continued the whole Tulsa thing in that story too, right? With the sundown towns and all that.
That's in the book.
Yeah. It's in the book as well?
It's in the book.
Oh,
Not
okay.
the sci-fi, but Tulsa. Yeah, it's mentioned in
Yeah.
the book. The book is
Right.
softer.
So I kind of feel like they might have been the same, and it was also filmed in Georgia. So I feel it might have been the same
Crew?
either rioters or
Yeah,
crew.
the lady who did, and I'm terrible with names, so don't mind me. She's the same one that worked on the Harriet Tubman. And when she worked on the Harriet Tubman, she was pushing it, and that got clipped. And when she got Lovecraft Country, she pushed it to the maximum.
Yeah.
It got clipped. Technically, there's a sequel to the book, and I have to yet read it. I own it. It's called The Destroyer of Worlds or something. Yeah, the book is much softer. It's actually written by a guy who's
Does it have the same sci-fi opening like the show?
No, well, the whole premise of the show is the same. Even right down to buying the house and everything else.
Right.
But it's written by a guy who's part Brazilian. He grew up in New York.
Interesting.
But he actually said something that was very interesting. I was reading an interview with him, and he was saying when he went upstate New York for college, he had a good friend that was black, and he said he himself would walk around, I think it was Rochester or something, and he told his friend, oh man, it's a really nice town. You should try to walk around. It's like, are you kidding me? You want me to walk around that place? And it wasn't until then that he realized, holy shit, like this is a completely different experience.
Right.
So the concept, yeah, it's interesting because I guess you would say he's technically a white dude, but he's not. I mean, Brazilians are not considered Latino. For
Mm-hmm.
those who don't know, they're considered Luso because they
Mm-hmm.
speak Portuguese, Lusitanian. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and and Brazilians will tell you we're not Latino.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because they're being cheeky, it's because they speak a different language.
Right. Right.
Technically, it's Latin. But it was
Right.
interesting reading that because he did a very good job of touching on things. And again, it comes back to this again. It's something that I read in Carter G. Woodson's book, The Education of the Negro. Why is it that we haven't produced an Alexander Dumas or an Alexander Pushkin in
Mm-hmm.
terms of the level of like this author? I guess on the level of a Michael Jackson.
Right.
Dumas was on the level of a Michael Jackson. I mean, the guy's been dead for like over 100 plus years,
Mm-hmm.
and we're still making fucking Three Musketeers, right?
Well,
And
they don't want to discover these people without taking their rights because everything's about property and
yeah,
IP and all that. So
and there's your answer. Yep.
yeah, they
And
rather recycle the same shit over and over again and keep every penny for themselves than
yeah,
discover
and that's
somebody
what we're
with new
seeing with
ideas.
Michael and Prince.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are
Exactly.
gravitating to Michael Jackson and Prince now.
Yeah, and they use the media to condemn Prince for changing his name to the symbol, but
Yeah.
people didn't realize, like, well, he gets to keep his money. The music industry is raking. Purple Rain's still on the radio for a reason. It's because they don't have to pay Prince jack shit or very
Yep.
little.
Yep.
It's like they don't promote his other albums because he basically said, "No, this is mine. I'm the
Yep.
creator. I should be making more money. The studio shouldn't be making more money than me."
Yep.
And
So
then
it
they
comes down.
ostracized him, just like they ostracized Michael. Like even though he beat it in court that he was not a child molester, it was still in the news for like 20 years. Right up to the guy died, and like now that this movie's out, it's back in the news again. Like
Yeah.
it's all because he snubbed them and bought the rights to the Beatles, to a lot of R&B creators, a lot of blues creators, and then he gave those rights back to those artists as well. He didn't even keep it or hoard it for himself.
Well, except for the Beatles. I wonder what beef he had with the Beatles.
Of course not. I'm not gonna get.
I wonder what beef he had with the Beatles.
But a
Yeah,
lot of these creators that were blues singers, that and a lot of like other
Little
he bought
Richard.
a lot of obscure properties, that
He gave it
people
back.
didn't value then.
Yeah, no, we don't. We don't.
You know,
I mean, I don't know if you heard about the town. I think it's in Arizona. There's an old, I think it's like 2 or 3 thousand year old village that got destroyed
hmm
because of that Trump's wall, border wall.
yes,
It's like an old, like it should be like a heritage site for us.
it's 1,000 years old. Yeah, they literally
But
just bulldozed right through it and ruined it.
it's that white supremacy. And it's
hmm
ironic because they keep saying, oh, our culture. White supremacy destroys culture.
Right.
It
I mean,
just
it's 1,000 years
homogenizes.
old. America's not even 250 years old yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But it all comes down to it's like what they visualize us to be.
hmm
We have to live within this box.
Right.
What I loved about that movie is they were showing he didn't want to live within that box.
Right.
And it's a reminder again. And I think all of us understood that back then innately because we're coming out from like, about 84. It's not that many years from the civil rights bill.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
It's
I mean,
not
you
even
think
like
about it. Think about
it's not even
this.
a decade.
Right. I mean, you think about this. When we were kids, right? You probably started school in '78, right? I mean,
No, actually, they stuck me in early.
early, so
1965.
67. The kindergarten was 67, 67, 77. Sorry.
Yeah, about 77, 76, 77.
Right. So
They stuck me in
I
early.
started in '78 when I was 5. And then when did they integrate schools? That was like maybe a little bit more than a decade, So we're kind of like still, you and I, we're in part of that early test period of integrate schools being integrated.
Yeah.
We look at it that way, but I think
And,
it was still a new concept when we were children.
and think, like a lot of the Star Wars fans were freaking out. White Star Wars fans. I'm going to be very blunt about that.
Right.
Um, their schools were still being integrated. Like
Right.
Kevin Smith, I was completely like I lost a lot of respect for Kevin Smith on this one. Not as any of his fault anyway. At the time, I
Mhm.
was just like, just piss off. He said he didn't see a black person until he was 21,
Boy, he lived in
and
a
I
dark.
was just like, that's like I'm like, you know,
But that just shows you the segregation of this country.
yeah, it does, it does.
And the redlining is very real. I mean, I'm dealing with something. There's something personal I'm dealing with. My father bought this house when we left the Bronx in the 90s. It's one house, but there's two mortgages on this property. Now, I want to sell the house, but I'm like, why is there one property with two mortgages? It's part of redlining, right? They were like, well, this property's so big that you need to, and it's not even an acre, it's less than an acre. But they're like, we need to have two separate mortgages. Now, he should have been the bigger guy and walk away, but he didn't allow his pride to do so. So now I want to sell this. And I'm like, well, if I sell it, it has to have two mortgages in there. Like, what do you mean? So I have to like try to divide the property so I can benefit from the screw up that my father kind of fell into for being redlined. But the county,
That's insane.
it's insane, but the county doesn't want to do it. They're like, well, if you divide it, you can't sell that piece of land. It's too small to build a house on. I'm like, are you kidding me? I've seen like properties a quarter of the size with a house on it. So it's like even in 2026, there is still redlining. This is like a symptom of redlining that they want to continue. Like, no, you could sell your house, but you can't have two mortgages. Well, why not? It was purchased with two mortgages. I still have the receipts. So I said, look at it this way. You divide the land, you get two separate taxable incomes, right? On two separate properties, and I get to build a house on it. They're like, oh, okay. Well, you need a lawyer, you need this, you need a surveyor, you need an engineer, you need to do all the way a second. You didn't need all that to buy it, all right?
Yeah, actually,
You go to court.
you
And
might
that's
be
not
interested.
redlining. What is that? What is that?
Maybe you've read this book, or maybe you haven't. It's a book called. It's by a man by the name of Richard Rothstein.
Right.
It's a book called The Color of Law.
Ah, that sounds cool.
And it deals with redlining, the history of redlining, the history of because mortgages used to sometimes have clauses
Mm-hmm.
that if you couldn't sell a home to a black family.
Oh, yes. I've actually heard
Um,
of this book. Yeah.
shit, I forgot the
There's a
name of that.
documentary that mentioned this.
That's a great book. I read that years ago.
Yeah.
He talks about how black men were not allowed to get their GI Bill benefits.
Right.
So white Americans who, after World War II, were able to get those benefits, were able to get the leg up on everyone who
Right.
did. And the big joke was like, yeah, apply for it. We'll see if you get it. That affected people like my uncle. My uncle fought in World War II. But that history is not told. So usually when we think of, or the country collectively thinks of the injustices done, it always defaults to slavery.
Right.
Jim Crow's not there. The failure of Reconstruction is not there. Redlining's not there. Police violence isn't even talked about. So,
Right.
yeah.
Talking about police violence, have you heard about this new RoboCop that they got here? This is the Chinese. They literally built a RoboCop.
Yeah, I did see it.
It's
I did
like,
see that.
let's see if we can. There we go. I think that's it. Right? Is that it? Let's see if I can play that video. Let's see. That's freaking crazy. We got droids. And they're calling it the T-800. That's the
It's
funniest
funny
part about it.
because
He looks like a freaking Iron Man. That's
It's
that's a
funny
little bit
because
more
I've heard,
aggressive the design than what they were showing during the New Year's one, which was more like along the lines of this little sappy thing,
yeah, yeah. Uh,
or
the
like
funny part is that
or like that.
a lot of the stuff that I've heard from people who have lived there, they
Right.
always say if you leave your phone somewhere or your personal goods, you can go back; it'll still be there.
Oh yeah, dude, that is so true. You can't do that in the
It's
United
complete.
States.
So this is kind of like their policing is not like our policing, which
Oh,
is like
definitely
it's
not.
just different.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
Let me tell you something. When I was in Taiwan, which is not China, a lot of people confuse that. But yeah, their cops are yeah, it's totally different.
it's
McDonald's,
not the same.
it's not the same. McDonald's has KFC, all these restaurants that we have, they have buildings like literally like a 3 floor, like I guess like a 6 floor apartment building. So you'll have like the register on one floor, and then you can go up 5 flights of stairs, and each one is like a eating area. That's how packed it gets there. I'm sad for them that they eat that much McDonald's, but it's but I
Yeah,
was on the top floor. I think it was the fourth or fifth floor. Yeah, because each building's different. And these people just left their purses open, their phones, all their valuables were on the table when they went down to get because they call your number and they went down and they came up. And I was like, wow, this place is so safe. And then
yeah.
like their bikes, would they would like drop their bike? There was nobody locked their bike on the street in 2006 when I first went to Taiwan. Um, they left their bikes out. They just parked it outside, put it on the
Yeah.
bike. Um, but then when more foreigners, Europeans, like people from Spain, Americans, people from, where is it, Italy, you have a lot of
Mhm.
people visiting. Like in later on, like 2008, when I went back, they started locking stuff. And each year that I started going, like I've been to Taiwan at least, I think 6 or 8 times. I've been there a bunch of times. But yeah, every time I went back, there was more and more security. It's like, and things got, you could see that they were like losing funding too. Like things changed. It started looking a little dark and depressed. You could see the change of the economy of things going down, but it's the
Well, that's
West
the American
influence.
influence.
It's the American influence. The more money that the Americans give them for weapons or whatever against China, you can see that it's affecting their economy.
Yeah,
The-
because it's
putting-
called neoliberalism.
yeah,
So, and for those who might think it's a liberal thing, it's not. It's an economic system that Reagan and Thatcher
right,
used. So you start cutting public funding to start funding other shit, sort of like
right,
weapons and stuff. That's
right,
why.
right.
Oh,
And
you need this because,
you don't see drug epidemics like you have here in the States, where people are like, you can't like walking through zombie towns like in California or Seattle or New York or I mean, there were people that were homeless. They did have homelessness. The people lived up by the bridges and stuff. But guess what? They were like shanty towns. But guess what? They were farmers. They farmed. They were living. They were literally living off the land. So
right.
like you had like a little shanty town outside of a building outskirts, and they had like a public park, and within the public park, you had these shanties. But then they were like growing lettuce. They were like growing
Well,
rice, growing all this stuff, and then they sell it in the market. So it's like
part of
interesting.
the reason I heard too that they don't have the same drug use. The governments there are still very much aware of all the opium shit
Oh
because there's
yeah,
the Golden Triangle
yeah. And
drug
the thing
trade.
is, they have the death penalty. So if you're caught selling drugs, guess what happens to you?
Yeah, yeah,
It's like so. It's not that problematic. It's like
yeah, yeah.
it's not at
There
the
was
levels of it. I'm not saying it doesn't exist there. It does, but when you get off the airport, it says trafficking illegal drugs is punishable by death. That's in bold letters as you're walking to customs. So you
wow.
better dump it before you get to the gate. Or else
Yeah, there's a long history of that.
yeah.
Um, that's part of the reason we went to Vietnam was to secure the Golden Triangle trade.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's for the drugs, but yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's just different. And if it wasn't for the Western influence, it'd still be okay.
Yeah,
But I heard mainland China's pretty safe. Women talking about they can walk at night and not worry,
right,
you
exactly.
know. I mean, overall, and I've seen many videos where they say, "Oh, beware of Europe" and blah blah blah.
Right,
I've walked out at late at night. I've never felt like I did in Brooklyn, like, "Oh shit, who's that guy following me?" You
right,
know,
right.
just because I mean, illegal guns exist everywhere, but if you get busted with an illegal gun, it's
It's
many
over.
years here in jail just for that. So, um,
Exactly.
you know, but
Yeah.
hey, each place has its own thing. The problem is that the economic stresses that create these things. So
Right.
you take away healthcare, you take away certain services, like youth centers. So what happens if you don't feel like you have a future? Someone comes along and says, "Hey, you want to sell some drugs? All right, I'll sell drugs." Means money, right? And it's
Right.
funny that our capitalistic society can't understand that.
Right.
That the drug trade is just as capitalistic as selling fucking Nikes. It's just
Yeah.
part of capitalism.
I mean, well, think of that's how the United States was built, was drug money, you know? I mean, it's how
Mhm.
the British Empire was built.
Yeah, well, when they couldn't sell people,
Right.
if you look at the years, right? So it's 1836 when the Brits go, supposedly stop selling people. And it's about 1838 or so, they start messing around with China and opium.
Oh, come on. Whoops. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That was a nice beat, man. That was a nice beat.
I
So
was
yeah,
going
I
to
mean,
copy and paste a link in there for the.
so yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean you're right. That makes sense. From slavery to drugs, right?
slavery to drugs. It's always fucking somebody over.
Right,
And
exactly. That's
that's just like,
and you mentioned aliens earlier, and I don't know if you saw, but Iran released another video
or Iran's on fire, man.
about aliens.
Iran's on fire. They're like, I'm sorry, but I know a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, you guys are like on Iran's side."
Not
There's
really.
no side here. We're getting our asses kicked,
There's no sign.
and they're trolling us at the same time. And you just got to sort of sit there and admire the
The
finesse
level
they
of
got to this
creativity
shit.
that went into
It's like,
this.
wow,
Right, right. It's like I don't know. I've gotten some criticisms for what I'm posting, but it's okay.
Oh, you got some posts?
I got some. Yeah, I got some private messages about
Oh, do you? Yeah.
voting propaganda, Iranian propaganda. Like, oh, okay, whatever.
Everybody, I don't know. I don't get any of those anymore. I don't know if because I can be just when I want to turn it on, I can be a real asshole.
Right,
So I don't know if I've sort of like let everybody know if you come this way, I'm gonna really be a dick.
right. I'm coming
Or
for you.
they're just like, just ignore them.
Yeah, I don't know. I find it. I think it's more infuriating when you smile.
Well,
It's
I'll
like,
put it this way.
works for
I'll
me. Works for
ridicule
me.
you while being an asshole,
Right.
which is not my nicer side. It's not my better side. But if you tick me off with something like racist or
Yeah.
something downright stupid,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Well, yeah.
laugh at you and tell you.
I mean, I don't know why people, and this has happened to me, and there's people who are into the comics and stuff like that. Like you talk about Star Wars fans. There's this person I know. I don't know why. Every once in a while, I don't know if they forget or they just stuck on stupid or too stupid to know they're stupid. But
Mhm.
every once in a while, they'll like make some racist joke in my presence. And I'm like, look at them. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, are you like, are you an idiot? Like, are you a fucking moron? Like,
That's
I've
to be
told you
said.
many times that my grandmother was Afro-Colombian. Her father was African. It's like my sister has a Jamaican husband and Jamaican children. There's a lot of, it's like we have a lot of black in our family, Jamaica and San Andres Island, you can still find
Yeah.
people, they speak more, patois than they do Spanish. It's like
Yeah.
that's where my mom's side of the family was from. It's like I don't understand why they feel comfortable that they can be disrespectful and like say stuff like that. I mean, even
Well,
my cousin's wife in California is black and he has black kids. It's like I don't understand. And people know this, and I don't understand why they feel that they can just be disrespectful like that and then expect me not to say anything. If I get upset, they're like, oh, come on now. I'm just
it's
joking. I'm not racist. I was like, no, you are.
it's like
It's like,
it's funny you bring that up because my son and I had a conversation once
Mhm,
because he passes. Like if he really wouldn't,
mhm.
other than maybe his features a little bit. If you're black, it's funny because black and brown people can always figure out you're mixed with something.
Right,
Some white people just kind of dumb about that shit.
right.
And I told him, I said, one day you're gonna be sitting around and you're gonna hear all the shit white people say
Mhm,
about black and brown people.
mhm.
And I said, and that's your responsibility to call them out
Right. You
because
got
it's
to.
your
At this point,
lineage.
I don't even get angry anymore. I just get like it's shame time. It's like
Yeah,
let's just shame them and just show them how stupid they are.
and really it just reveals a limitation. Like my kids would tell me every so often, because my daughter, she looks a lot more like me, right? Even right down to skin tone. And she'll tell me some stuff that kids will say that it's ignorant, or my son will tell me. And I said, well, look at it this way. They're letting you know what the parameters or the limitation of their experience has been up until that point. It tells you it's not very wide.
Not very wide, no.
And it's actually when they're being racist and you think that way, you're robbing yourself of a
Mhm,
greater experience
mhm.
of this broader world that's out there that's just fantastic.
Right.
Um,
I
it,
think that's also probably why I never worked for the mainstream comics because a lot of the guys that are in there kind of chuck their culture at the door and they're like, "Oh, we'll just tolerate it," you know?
yeah, and I always felt that
And I
I
was never.
never heard it said, but I always felt that was always present. So it's
Yeah,
interesting to bring it out. It's just like sort of like a lingering ghost there going, when you get in, you can't be black anymore.
right. You really can't.
You know?
And I'm not
Uh,
even a Spanish speaker, and I felt that, it's like it's not like I'm like, it's not like I'm like eating acapurias every day and
right, right.
I'm not like dancing every time in the streets every time I hear some music, even though I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it, but I don't act. It's like
Yeah, I mean,
it's like
but
you know what I mean?
it
It's
is
like
a very racist system.
it is a very racist system,
It's a
and
very
having
racist
to
system. And
navigate even this, like me growing my hair out, like this. Yeah, look, yeah, they're like, yeah, my hair looks like shit. I don't give a fuck. It's like, but people have criticized me at work. They're like, hey, what's going on with you? Are you okay? Like,
yeah,
what do you mean? Well, your hair, they don't say it looks like shit, but basically they're saying your hair looks like shit. It looks a
yeah.
little unkempt. Used to
Well,
have it
you're
very short and tight, and then even when it was growing out, I used to have the sides shaved, tied it up. It's like this is
but you're
this is
the art teacher.
this is the way
You're
God
supposed to
made
be
me.
kooky,
Yeah, I
right?
tell
But
them this is my Albert Einstein look. It's like
yeah, you're the art teacher. You're supposed to be,
right. It's like
uh, kind of kooky. But that's what I mean. We're not allowed to be,
we're not allowed to be ourselves.
yeah. And that's, I think, why to this day there's an aspect of, and I go back to Prince and Michael Jackson. With David Bowie, for example, it was expected that white men could be that.
Right.
Oh, he can be imaginative. He could do whatever. Oh, look at the genius of what he is,
Right.
right? You do it as a black person. I don't know. I don't know about that. That seems a little strange. I don't know. And the
Right.
criticisms get there really fast.
Well, it's like Training Day or New Jack City versus Johnny Depp's movie about being a drug dealer. What's his name? What was that called?
Blow,
Blow, right? I always think the word bleach always comes to mind. I don't know why, but blow. It's like,
blow. Yeah,
maybe I think it's bleach because it's like they whitewashed like, oh, this is the good drug dealer. Oh, but if you're Nino Brown, you're bad. It doesn't matter if you give
yeah.
out cookies on Thanksgiving or if you're a cop on training day, oh, you're corrupt. It's like
Yeah, there's, and I don't think people understand that it isn't just the freedom for black characters on the paper or on the screen.
Mhm.
It's the freedom for creators,
Right.
and we all go through it. I mean, when I first started drawing comics,
Mhm.
actually one of the first characters I drew was actually Japanese, so that's okay.
Right.
But when you start drawing comics, there's always that temptation that the character must be white. You don't really think about it, but you realize, okay, well, if you're going to make a lot of money, it has to be like a white character.
And it's
It,
subliminal.
it's
I
subliminal,
remember
exactly. You don't
when I
really
used to
think
draw
of it.
myself as a kid, I drew myself with straight hair, even though I didn't know. I knew that I didn't have. This is not straight hair. It's like it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it's
but it's
wavy.
subliminal. They really, it's so deep. It's like a self hatred, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And then when you start growing it out, they're like, hey, his hair is not straight. It's a little curly. No, it's not curly. It's got a little kink. It's like furry in the back. It's like, why is like this curly in the front and then this frizzy in the
Meanwhile,
back?
if your hair was straight,
Right.
they wouldn't even think of it.
Not at
No, he's
all.
just the art teacher.
Yeah. It's like,
You know, there's a whole video going around about uh, clowns and why they have afros and
mhm.
how it's deeply anti-black.
Right, right,
And there's a whole thing where we can't just be, and it's funny because people think, well, black hair, it's political.
right, right, right.
You
Yeah,
know, letting your hair grow out is a
it is.
political thing.
Remember in the 60s with the afro, people were getting fired for growing out an afro, which was also known as a natural, right?
Yep.
So they were like, you got to straighten your hair, you got to conk it, right? There's that whole thing about straightening your hair, like Cab Calloway. I mean, he was one of the top singers, but he had straighten his hair.
Yep. A lot of guys did that.
And I went through that myself as a young man, straightening my hair, like, and then at one point, oh, like after I saw that Eddie Murphy Saturday Night Live skit where he's that becomes a white man.
Oh
I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
I was like, I wonder if that's true. Like, what if I was a blonde? And I did it. Like I did it, and you know what? It's true.
It is,
People
yeah.
treat you better when you're blonde. I hate to say it, but it's true.
It's very
And I got addicted to being a blonde for like a number of years.
wow.
I
Wow.
was like, if my hair goes back to a normal color, they'll treat me the way I used to be treated. And so I wanted to be blonde. It's sad.
Wow.
It's sad. But I mean,
Yeah,
these are
because
the
it's
things that we have to go through as Americans when we're not completely white. And I'm pretty light skinned. I'm much lighter than my father. My father was like your complexion. Um, but even me, I had to like go through like, oh, I gotta dye my hair blonde. I remember being in a bar on 23rd Street, somewhere around there, like 20 something street, like in the Chelsea area. And I was blonde, but it was like a very intense red light. And it was in the summer. So I had a bit of a tan, but uh, and I remember this guy. I was with two friends of mine. This guy just starts talking to me, and he tried to recruit me for the KKK.
I told you they're stupid.
And,
I told you they're stupid. It's just like that reminds me years ago, and I'm talking years ago, probably early 2000s. There was a abortion clinic that got bombed in Boston,
right,
and they caught the guys. They were all white supremacists, and
right,
in jail, they figured out that one of them was half black.
right, right.
Dude didn't even know it, but they found out through records or whatever. And I'm
Yeah,
like, they're so stupid. And when you looked at him, you're like, yeah,
yeah.
he's
He
half
said,
black,
yeah.
you know.
I
But
was
it's
trying.
what we all go through that.
Uh,
I never dyed my hair. I never cared for blondes. It's really kind of funny, actually. In
right,
Spain, they don't like blondes.
right.
Yeah, you won't see. It's funny because in the States, you'll see a lot of women who dye their hair blonde.
Yeah,
In
and
Spain,
there's a
it's
lot of black women too. You know,
what's that?
a lot of black women in the United States here dye their hair blonde too.
Yeah, yeah. Spain, they don't like blondes.
Right.
They actually don't like anything from the north too much.
That's refreshing.
Yeah, they like brunettes. And
That's-
mom used to tell me this passage. It was a poem or something. She used to say it all the time. It was like, Dios no me das el rubio porque es del platero. So God, please don't give me the blonde because he's from the silversmith.
Interesting.
So give me the brunette, and then goes on to give me the brunette because she or he is from the earth. So they don't like blondes. It's not a big thing. I have a friend actually who's a comic book artist, actually comic book creator, Guillermo Ross, and he was blonde. He's blonde. He was the only blonde, well, reddish hair, reddish blonde. And they used to tease him all the time.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, "Are you sure you're Spanish?" So it's not a cultural thing. It's really wild.
Right.
Here in France, yes, naturally there's more blondes because it's more north. But
Right,
it's
right.
interesting. It's a cultural thing.
Yeah, it's an. I mean, I think we could probably do a whole episode on that, right? Just talking about this. It's wild, but back to our most detest blonde.
Yes,
Donald
our
Trump.
blonde,
Let's
our
watch
Oompa Loompa.
Oompa Loompa. He's orange. He's not white. It's like,
Look up at the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, dropping UFO files just to mess with your brain. Blurry little saucers while the economy dies, but you'll keep the Epstein list in the dark with the lies. Yeah, it's the weapon of mass distraction. Look at the stars to avoid the reaction. Keep the fake aliens, we calling your bluff. Show us who went to the island, yeah, we had enough. Mr. President playing hero with a classified stash, but the footage looking like it was recorded on trash. 144 pixels of a smudge in the clouds, and you throwing it like candy to the gullible crowds. Where the real files at? Oh, the CIA tripped you? Dyer stepped in and they suddenly zipped you. No spaceships, no bodies, just a weather balloon. Selling tickets to a movie that is ending too soon. I'm the man of the truth, nah, PR machine. The cheapest magic trick that the world ever seen. Trying to shine a little object so we follow the beam, while you hide the real monsters in the back of the scene. Bring it back to the ground where the pockets are peaking. Crime on the corner while the podium's speaking. Gas prices up, inflation is wild. So you point at a comment like you tricking the child. And what's this about skipping the midterm votes? Changing up the maps just to keep you afloat. Talking about democracy but rigging the game. Pointing fingers at the world to escape your own blame. You say you want it fair but you alter the lines. American dream looking like a series of crimes. You want us looking up while the country is burning, but the wheels of the truth, yeah, they constantly turn. Look up at the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, dropping UFO files just to mess with your brain. Blurry little saucers while the economy dies, but you keep the Epstein list in the dark with the lies. Yeah, it's the weapon of mass distraction. Look at the stars to avoid the reaction. Keep the fake aliens, we calling your bluff. Show us who went to the island, yeah, we had enough. Now let's cross the Atlantic, look at how you behave. Throwing tantrums globally, putting trust in the grave. Germany speaks up, so you pack up and split. Pulling troops out of spite, cause your ego was hit. A diplomatic child with the button depressed. Turning international relations into a mess. And at the border, yeah, we see the divide. Only white refugees get a ticket inside. Call it what it is, man or racist agenda. Return to sender, no pretending to mend ya. You're building up walls while you tear down the bridges and hide your dirty secrets in the Hollywood ridges. Look at the sky, ignore the blood on the floor. Look at the sky, ignore the cost of the war. Look at the screen, ignore the man in the cell. Welcome to the shiny little PR hell. Let me speak from Tehran, let me set the record straight. Yeah, we got our own struggles with the bulls of the state. We fight for our freedom, we bleed in the street, but we don't need a savior with an occupying fleet. Keep your missiles, keep your sanctions, keep your bloody liberation. We don't want a U.S. bomb to democratize our nation. The war is going bad for you, the casualties rise. So you threaten escalation, do cover the cries. Sign the deal or we strike, man, you sounding absurd. Hurting your own economy, breaking your word. We defending our soil, we ain't bowing to pressure. Your military might is a failing endeavor. So wrap it all up in a shiny foil package. Use the little green men to cover the damage. You distracting from the war, distracting from the prices, distracting from a nation in a multitude of crises. But the Epstein ghost still knock on the door. The billionaire secrets ain't safe anymore. You can't use the galaxy to run from the truth. Can't bury the corruption, can't silence the youth. From the streets of Iran to your own Capitol dome, the karma that you built is finally coming home. Put the UFOs away, man, the gang is up. We drink in reality. You poison the cup.
UFO distraction.
Look up at the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, dropping UFO files just to mess with your brain. Blurry little saucers while the economy dies, but you keep the Epstein list in the dark with the lies. Yeah, it's the weapon of mass distraction. Look at the stars to avoid the reaction. Keep the fake aliens, we calling your bluff. Show us who went to the island, yeah, we had enough. Yeah, greetings from Iran. We see the shiny object. We ain't looking. Fix your own house before you try to burn ours down. Where's the real files? Yeah. Epstein didn't fade away just because you showed us a blurry drone. Wake up. Wake up.
I don't know. That was probably the longest video they've ever made, right? That's
Yeah, it's fascinating because talking about redlining and redistricting, we were talking about that. You heard what happened in Tennessee, right? How they're redistricting one of the biggest black neighborhoods.
Oh
in
yes.
favor of the GOP.
Yep.
And two of the, I think they were legislators that were protesting, they got arrested.
Yeah.
You know, you also have the, and we didn't talk about that last week, the Supreme Court in Louisiana messing with the Voting Rights Act.
Yeah.
Again, talking about, you know, the Civil Rights Bill, right? So they're rolling everything back. And
Yeah.
what they want, when they say make America great, when was that, first of all? Secondly, if you think it's great, at some point, you must be thinking segregation was great.
Right.
And that's what they want to roll back to. All this anti-woke stuff was just a nice little facade for anti-blackness. You know, oh, well, it's the dudes going into the ladies' restrooms. You know, how many incidents of that happen?
Right.
The percentage of trans people in our culture is very small.
Very small.
Right. And making a big deal about something that small is really to hide that you just don't want to treat black and brown people as human beings. What it comes down to. So I found it interesting that they brought up, you know, talking about fixing your own problems. And that thing with Germany, which is very interesting. I think I sent you a little thing on it this morning. Germany's a serious ass hypocrite. But before I get to talk about their hypocrisy, Trump is going to remove 5,000 troops from Germany. There's about 36,000. So Germany's still going to have 31,000. Now he's saying he's going to put them in Poland. So he's not really leaving Europe, you know, as he keeps saying, I'll pull my bases from Europe if you don't go along with me in Iran. He's like that annoying boyfriend or girlfriend who says, I'm going to leave if you don't do this. Well, fine, leave. I'm going to leave, you know.
Please do.
And in terms of Germany, they just came out and said it was okay for Israel to invade Lebanon.
Right.
Because they have to. This is the same Germany that was all up in arms about Russia going into Ukraine.
Right.
So where's the moral consistency?
Right.
It's all such a shit show. But that cartoon shows that we deflect from everything. It's somebody else. It's the other. It's aliens. It's demons. It's Satanists. It's us. It's our own fault, our own world that we live in. So anyway, that end of rant.
No, I mean it's crazy. I mean, and you did send me some cool stuff here with
Yeah, there's some serious shit coming down the pipeline. Yeah, right here. They're talking about how the data centers for AI could take down our grid.
Yeah.
Because of the energy uses that it requires. This is what I've been telling you for a long time. Like, oh, we're gonna have like
Skynet
or Star Trek. No, we're gonna have Mad Max.
Mad Max. They want Mad Max. You know.
Well,
I
Mad
mean,
Max means you don't get to rule the world.
right. Well, they do in their little pocket world, wherever that is. You know, they want to control the water and everything else. And
Which they
ironic.
need security guards. They need the amount of they don't really realize how much of their little bubble requires a lot of people to
9
secure it.
gigawatts of
And
energy.
if you fuck that up, what you're gonna get is that same people who, like people don't understand. Like kings weren't because they were very rich.
Right.
Kings were the thugs who went
Right.
out and killed people. And facilitating a Mad Max type scenario means the guys that they rely on for their security will just kill them and take their gold.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's something about them that they live in a very stupid mindset. But oh yeah, there's also the other one. This one is the AI center that used up like 30 million gallons of water.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. Like, and I did send you 2 pictures to sort of illustrate to you. It's not this one. This one is a modern AI data center.
Right.
Go to the next one. That is the vacuum tubes we had in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So we went from these big, massive warehouses. We created integrated circuits. The reason we created integrated circuits, smaller so it could be portable, was to manage our weapon systems on planes.
Right.
So these dingbats thought, hey, bigger's better, which is this, but really we've done a full circle.
Right. And we're back to
the
that
old vacuum tube shit.
Yeah.
That's why, like this. No, to me, AI is a dead end. It's yeah. That was your message you got.
Oh yeah, that was earlier message.
That was earlier. Yeah.
Please. It's like
yeah. It's yeah. So
it's
this
like,
sort of illustrates you. It's backwards. Like we're wasting water.
Yeah. Just depleting the government,
We're going to screw our grid. They started this war, fertilizer everywhere in the United States. Farmers can't buy fertilizer.
Mm-hmm.
This is planting season.
Yep.
So we got food. And now on top of all this emergency shit, we have a population armed to the teeth. So anyone who thinks they're going to go hide in a bunker, and quite personally, someone could just put a big rock on that fucking bunker.
Right.
Good luck getting out of that shit.
Yeah.
And they built their bunkers in Florida, by the way.
Talking about Florida. Did you hear about
Florida? A place that doesn't have basements because when tornadoes, hurricane season comes in, it floods.
Right.
Like we're not dealing with very smart people here.
No.
They have a plan. It's not a very good one. And I think we all have to start to realize, I think it comforts us thinking that they're these evil Dr. Doom geniuses, because at least we're like, well, at least they got something that it's a smart plan. I'm not included in it, but they're smart. I think it's scary to think they're not smart and that they really don't have their hands on the wheel.
Right.
I think that's scarier, because then we have to say, hold on a shit. Hold on a second.
Right.
These people are going to drive us off the cliff for no reason.
And with this ugly ass statue of Trump.
Oh, the Trump one.
Yeah, take a look at this shit.
The Homelander one?
This thing here.
I want to make sure everyone can hear. Okay, sir.
Hello, everybody. I want to thank you so much for being there today, and more importantly, for what you did. The statue is beautiful. I saw it during the weekend. We had a big PGA tournament with a great champion, and all great champions, actually, but it was a great tournament, and I got to look at it very closely, and it's incredible. And I just want to thank you. I know it was done from love, and I want to thank Mark Burns, a pastor. He's a good pastor. He's a good man. I've known him a long time. He's been with me from the beginning, right from the beginning. maybe about 2 days later, right? 2 days. But
Right, Mr. President.
he was right at the beginning, and I appreciate it, Mark. You're great, and just really a good person. And I want to thank everybody there. I don't know, I hear there's a good crowd of people, but I want to thank you.
And then they have this fabric draped around him like he was Christ or something.
I heard that they had to. The artist was told to get rid of his pussy neck.
Really?
Yeah. I know that was crass, but I couldn't.
Right.
But you notice when he talks, it sounds like it was fabulous. It sounds like he's straining, like he's having a dump.
Right. Yeah,
he's a good man. He is. He's always been with me.
I was wondering if he had like cameras in his eyes or something, because he has like these slits in his eyeballs,
He's a lizard.
I'm like, what is going on?
Lizard Trump.
He has like this. He has like these little slits in the eyes. Like, what is that? I don't understand. Like, take a look at this. This is freaking weird. Let me see. I gotta remove that from the stage. Do this. Stop the screen. Add to the screen. It's like, there we go. You have this giant.
Is it the same artist that did Ronaldo, the soccer player? It's this horrible statue. Can you zoom in on one of those?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. I got the article here. I put it on. I shared the wrong screen. There we go. I think that's it. Yeah. I mean, look at that. It's awful. He looks like the Incredible Hulk.
Hey.
Goldfinger. It's like.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
his eyebrows are too uniform. They usually kind of do the, like I think Jack Kirby would do that. He'd draw these crazy eyebrows that went out like those kung fu guys.
Yeah.
That grew out. That's what Trump has now.
Yeah, they cleaned up his
those
neck.
crazy eyebrows. That's not accurate enough, but
They gave him
I think it's a good likeness. It's ugly enough.
22-foot statues. So they wanted to get rid of the turkey and make the president thinner.
It's crazy, man. I just
we got
really
America now. At least it's not in front of the White House. Is it real gold though? That's what I'm wondering. Or is it just gold leaf? It looks like gold leaf to me. That doesn't look like real gold.
I don't know.
Not a fool.
I don't know.
You can't get up. Oh,
guys. He's a good guy.
This is fucking awful. Why do we? I always say, where are the Democrats? where are they? Where did they go?
They support all this shit, really.
Right.
They're not saying anything. They support it. And I know there's Democrats out there that hate to hear it, but quite frankly, the problem is there's a portion of us who are very moderate, and I get it. You don't want violence, or no one wants it, but moderate then translates into incrementalist. It's like, well, take our time, things will get there eventually, that sort of shit. And I think a good deal of Democrats are like that.
Right.
Which really is like, just flim-flammy. Just go along to get along. They might hate Trump, but they don't really hate what Trump is doing. Where are the Democrats against the Iran war?
Right.
We're killing children.
Right.
The same thing with Gaza. I don't care where you stand with Kamala, right? One way or the other. But if she had came out and she had said, this shit in Gaza needs to stop,
right,
she would have been president today.
Right. But she didn't. She didn't. Around the idea.
Mm-hmm. So
she said nothing's going to change. That's what put the nail in her coffin was nothing's going to change. I would not pass a bill that only benefits black people when asked about reparations. I think that was a big one.
Yep.
That was a major one. You know,
Meanwhile, you can get arrested for people thinking you're saying something anti-Semitic because you're criticizing Israel.
yeah,
Could you
yeah.
imagine if we had something like that for black people? Like if you said something along the lines that was anti-black, I mean,
Right.
half the country would be in fucking prison. But the outrage,
The whole South.
historically speaking, indigenous and black people are the canaries in the mine shaft. How we're treated, everyone else treated that way.
Right.
But somehow we're like, oh no, it's we gotta be careful because the Jewish. Not saying that Jewish people haven't been mistreated in the U.S., but overall, the groups of people that have been treated in the U.S. have not been Jewish people in the same way as blacks or
Right.
indigenous people. That's,
Right.
I mean, to put it to that level, I've never heard of not even anyone say to me, "Yeah, man, you know, my kids were coming home and the cops stopped him because he was Jewish. He was wearing his yarmulke and they beat the crap out of him." Never gonna happen.
No, it's never gonna happen.
Black or brown kid wearing his hoodie, gonna happen.
Right.
So
The atrocity of like this kid who was killed wearing the hoodie with the Skittles and the Arizona, and then the guy getting off and then going to shows.
Trayvon Martin, yeah.
Trayvon Martin, and then this his killer, his murderer, not only is released from prison on self-defense, but then goes on tour signing bags of Skittles and cans of Arizona for these white nationalists.
Yeah, and then they say they're not racist.
Right. There's this like
Say they're not racist. It's incredible to me.
Right.
You know.
And then a year later puts a gun to his girlfriend's head and gets off again.
Yeah, well, you know that guy, I forget his name, Zimmerman, I think his name is.
Yeah. Zimmerman.
His father is a judge.
Mm.
So I think there's not just only there's white supremacy through and through, but there's also classism.
Yeah.
So, well, he comes from a wealthy family. But yeah, it's just like wild to me that we're at the state. Like, I was just hearing about a lady in England.
Mm-hmm.
They wasted all this money on cops to track her down at her home because someone on the train said she had denied the Holocaust. And I'm just like, you won't do that for black people.
Right.
Not asking for that. But again, priorities of racism are pretty high towards us.
Right.
Through and through.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, what are the wasted resources on that? To do that. People say shit all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're going to be policing everybody for all the dumb shit that they say,
right,
what sort of a society do we have?
Exactly.
You know, it's not going to change their minds.
Nope.
They're still going to say dumb shit. I just don't get it. It's a waste of resources and time. But here we are.
Here we are. And then this is interesting, talking about discrimination. This young man from Britain, he's being targeted now for saying what he's saying. We got two little clips here from him, which is really wild. Again, they don't talk about this on the regular news.
Some breaking news. Netanyahu has phoned the president of the UAE only an hour after Iran accused Israel of being behind the attack on the UAE yesterday. Now, in the phone call, Netanyahu said that he, quotes, supports the UAE for all measures it may need to take to safeguard its security. That's kind of a hint that he supports the UAE bombing Iran, which is interesting. Iran said that the strikes against the UAE over the last 2 days were not carried out by them, but they hinted that they were carried out by Israel in a false flag to be blamed on Iran. And it seems more than just a coincidence that now Israel is kind of calling on the UAE to attack Iran. But something else which is important is this is not a common thing. The UAE very rarely ever speaks to Netanyahu, but now they have. Netanyahu condemned the Iranian attacks against the UAE, the same ones that Iran denies, and he, quote, expressed solidarity with the UAE. And so this is really interesting, especially as Iran now accuses Israel of carrying out a false flag to blame on Iran. Combine that with Netanyahu phoning the UAE the day after, which is rare, and it seems interesting. That's not my opinion. That's just what's being said. So let's go with that. But you can leave me a follow for some more global news because I'm going to keep you up to date on everything you need to know.
Now, that's not the bad part. So he reported that. Next thing you know, this happens.
Guys, I've just been threatened after I said that Israel was behind the attacks on the UAE 2 days ago as a way to drag the UAE into a war with Iran. Only 2 hours after I posted that video earlier today, I've just been threatened by Israel, but not in the way you might think. Because of that video, every video I've posted for the last 2 months has just been demonetized, meaning that our channel can't make any money from all the news I bring to you. I've spent about 16 hours a day, every day, bringing you the news for the last 2 months about the war in Iran, and now I've just been threatened because I told you the truth about the attacks on the UAE. I relied on this money to be able to keep bringing you the news. It's more than just me behind here. We have a team of people doing this. But now, because I said Israel has carried out a false flag attack, I can't pay them anymore. And that means I might have to stop making the news. But there is one hope, and that's you guys who watch these videos. If you've liked the news I've brought you and you've learned something, please consider donating just £3. That's $4 to the channel. This money will go further than you know, and it'll mean I'm able to bring you the news and continue doing this. I am the only person who is prepared here to tell you about things like Israel carrying out false flag attacks. But I can see why, because there is a big consequence, as I've just told you. And so if you want to support the channel, please, it's now literally my only option to keep bringing you the news. Go to the link in my bio or go to my website.
So, I think he's a very brave young man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been targeted, threatened. Like, hey, you can't say that was a false flag. Why not? We talk about false flags in this country all the time, right?
Man, that's like a favorite.
That's part of the
sport.
whole conspiracy theory, right? But to threat, if a country threatens you for making a statement about a false flag, maybe it's true.
Well, you know,
Just saying. It's like,
let's face it. Israel's facing a PR disaster.
mm-hmm.
For many years, it's gone unchecked.
Yeah.
Right. And now it's getting criticized. So instead of like taking the criticism and ignoring it, letting it roll off its back, it's
Right.
trying to play whack-a-mole.
Right.
And when you get to the point where you're playing whack-a-mole,
Right.
you're not doing very good.
No.
If you strike out at every little person that comes at you, you're losing. And I feel the same way for the entire West.
Right.
Whether it's France with its PR disasters going on with, not just disasters, what's going on in Africa with France.
Right.
Whether it's Germany with its stupidity and what it's going on, or, our country, when you start to try to go after every single little person online,
Right.
that means, one, you got too much time in your hands. Two, you're spending too much money on shit you shouldn't be spending on, which is
Right.
going after individual people. And three, maybe you should take their criticisms at heart and maybe think maybe there's some of it that's true.
Right. Yeah, like maybe he has a point here.
Yeah. Maybe he has a point.
Reconsider. Talking about what you're talking about, like, attacking the woke thing. DC did something very interesting. DC Comics.
Did they hire Chuck Dixon back?
Almost. that they had made Superboy Jonathan Kent gay, and they had also made Tim Drake gay or bisexual, whatever. But now there's this all-in universe, which is just another crisis, right? It's like, and they actually dialed back the young, the new Superman, because they made him. It was called he was
Super
called
gay.
Super Gay, right? So they actually stole this guy named Tomorrow Man, which was like an indie book
I
for
remember
years.
Tomorrow Man. Yeah.
Yeah. So they basically took Tomorrow Man, they stole the name, and they made Jonathan Kent Tomorrow Man, which is a terrible costume, by the way. Look at that. He looks like he's a Superman and Batman mashup. You
It
know,
looks like Marvel and DC threw up together.
right, right. And then they brought back the little kid. So they aged him back. It's called Reign of the Superboys, and they aged them back, and now they have the little kid again, which was the smarter storylines when he was little with the younger Robin, whatever his name is, Damian Wayne, whatever. So they dialed it back to the little kid, bringing it back to like a kid's story, which is okay. But then they gave this guy, he looks like extant. If you don't remember Zero Hour with the extant when it was Hawk.
It's like they had like Baron Zemo meets
Right.
Batman, Superman kicking some Batman.
Does it make sense?
Roll over some Captain Marvel on that shit. Not the old Captain Marvel, the Marvel Comics Captain Marvel.
And then they bring back the what's his name, the original Superboy, the Kurt Swan Superboy. But I don't know if you remember Jim Lee and Grant Morrison turned him evil in this book about 15 years ago called Infinite Crisis, and they turned basically the Superboy from the original Crisis comes out of this vortex, and this is when during my lawsuit actually, War Without Superheroes, because he was trapped in a world without superheroes. That was his punishment. But they changed it to our world, right? So, but DC invented during my lawsuit, they of a world without superheroes, they created an Earth called a world without superheroes, and that was Superboy's prison, right? So now, now they're bringing back that Superboy Prime, but he's going to be rehabilitated. Now he's going to be a hero, not a villain. And so they're
Did he
bringing
go
back,
through conversion therapy?
yeah, man. Basically, he's going through something. So now they're bringing him back, and supposedly, and he's fourth world. So, which is interesting because my character, Imagine the Mystic, could go through the fourth world. Like there was actually one series that I started 10 years ago, and I just did the third episode of that, where he can travel through, like he discovers the world of comics. My character, Imagine the Mystic, 10 years ago discovered that he's traveling through different realities, and one reality is a comic book. He's like, oh, there's a world where comics, that's a world, that's printed matter. And so he's exploring that world, and now they're doing that with this Superboy Prime. He can actually travel through comic books. So he's actually fourth walling it, works at a comic book store.
I wonder how much of it they get to go by
right,
the indie section, buy stuff, bring it back to the office,
right.
and just thumb through going, yeah, we could take this, we can take that. I wonder if it works that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think so because and plus I had a lawsuit with them, right? So
Yeah.
during the New 52, they ripped off the character Mystery Man, and it was a parody of Green Lantern. I'll be honest, but they basically turned Green Lantern into a homeless guy. And then they took Captain America and made him a homeless guy, like the GI American thing. So they took my parodies of their companies and put them into their universe. So,
Yeah, didn't they in the 70s they had a thing? It's called the Spirit of 76, I think.
yeah,
Captain America said fuck it.
yeah,
And he was like a biker
yeah.
or some shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, but and I've said this plenty of times. We've gotten to the point that we need new characters. We need new things. When you I mean, there's only so many times in 100 years that you can keep taking, remasticating this shit and spitting it back out
and over and over again.
And the thing is, they treat artists and writers like custodians.
Yes.
You're just there to keep the museum alive.
Yeah.
And then we complain, well, we don't have any culture. It's like, well, because The big companies are like these really fat bastards. No disrespect to anyone who might be fat. I'm just using this as an analogy. And you're
Yeah.
stuck in this. It's like the Blob from X-Men,
Right.
and he's covered up the entire tunnel. But you got to get through the tunnel to get to
Right.
the other side, and you have to pay him a toll, or you got to stay on the other side, or scratch his ass or something, right? And that's
Mm.
how the big companies act.
Yeah.
And it's like a data center. It's just sucking up all the culture,
Yes.
as opposed to allowing the culture to just be the culture. I know that Japan has its own problems with its writers and its artists and how they treat them like shit. Yes. But I do think it's more dynamic that you can have magazines where new stories and new ideas get printed.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
And yeah, you'd think they would be smart like that, like doing the contest like Japan does the contest, and they've been really smart about that's how they found a lot of things, a
I
lot
think
of
the closest we came was heavy metal.
yeah.
Heavy metal was the closest thing we had to that.
Mhm.
And yet somehow a lot of that stuff didn't translate over.
Right.
It's like we have a whole broken for capitalism, for all the capitalism that we talk about, it doesn't really work to promote the stuff that could be really promoted. It's really weird.
Right.
It's really weird.
And there was also this other thing which I thought funny too. It's like no idea ever runs away. Like I remember, I've talked about the Red Hood and how I kind of created the Red Hood when I was after Jason Todd was killed back in the day. So I
Oh
made
yeah, I remember you telling me about that. Yep.
so I had posted on Facebook a few years ago about like this. This is the original design, which was influenced by Kaneda from
Mm-hmm.
And then this image here was actually they did steal this item for a thing called not the dream. This storyline was the Dream State. They did a book called The Future State that summer. So this was like the original design I did. Now again, it's Batman and Robin, whatever. But I thought it was funny because the story which took place. I posted this on Facebook. It was in public, and I mentioned like, oh, this kind of has like echoes of Batman Beyond because you have like an armored Batman. That's
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like Joker in a tube. Like you could see like there's this Joker. Like the whole thing is that Joker he's so dangerous. They moved him off into space because he's not even safe to be on prison anymore. And they put him in
Didn't they
space.
do that later, like recently with Bat? He was
Well,
in the Forbidden Zone or whatever, or
this is
Superman kept him there.
so this is what I'm talking about. This is they just released this week. So I was talking about this on Facebook. Now this, I had a roommate. I mean, I had a roommate that worked for DC and Marvel and stuff. So apparently, I guess they killed the Joker or whatever, and so now they got him like in state. It's literally, it's like you can't make this shit up. It's like,
Well,
what?
I think it tells you that they're getting to the point where
Like,
where do they go with it?
it's like,
I don't think they know where to go with this shit anymore, man.
but they won't hire the fans that actually can. I
Yeah.
can't look at that story. When did Jason Todd die? 1988.
Jesus, yeah, that was like
So
40 years ago.
yeah, and I drew that story literally the same year because I was working at a comic book store. 80, 89 around that time. So it's fucking hilarious and I had a character named Anarchy back then too. So I shopped that around when I was younger because I was trying to get into the business when I was a teenager. Certain aspects of that were stolen. I rewrote the story called Battle for the Cowl in 2007 or 8, gave it to Denny O'Neil. Then that was stolen where they killed Batman, right? That's where the punchline was introduced. That's where it was like a lot of things where they killed Batman, and then they came out with Damian Wayne, where it had the girl, basically this female Robin, which was Stephanie Drake, whatever. But anyway, they stole a lot of designs from that, and they came out with Red Robin after, and then Red Hood, and then and then in 2020, the punchline comes out, and again, my roommate that was living with me was trying to get a job back at DC because he used to ghost for a number of people at DC and Jim Lee included. Like he had a bunch of Jim Lee drawings that I saw in Jim Lee's book. I thought that this guy just drew them like as a fan, even though he works for DC. Like, but then there was stuff. Jim Lee came out with a book, and actually half the drawings that were in there, they were in my roommate's fucking studio, and I knew that he drew them. So he ghosted for him too. So when he moved out abruptly, literally like in 2018, 2 years later, Punchline comes out, and that's what I was working on, revamping Punchline for my own series. So it's like you get it both ways, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And there are people who are specifically hired and are on contract just to come up with ideas.
Yeah. And that's
You
what
know,
he is. He works with editors for ideas. Yep.
and my feeling though is that the comic book industry in the West will only grow once new characters and new ideas are allowed to enter the fray.
Right.
We're diminishing because we don't have new stuff. I can't say that about France because France does put out a lot of stuff you won't see there.
Right.
Although it's stuck in its own rut. The rut is a little different. It's not necessarily putting out new content. It's
Right.
just that it has a certain look that it's just like you kind of need to break out of that look.
Right.
But in terms of content, they got a lot more different variety type stuff.
Right.
Beautiful color work though.
Yeah.
But even then, the American stuff is starting to dominate even here.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
the kids are not going to the American stuff. They're going straight to manga.
Right. They're going straight to manga. They don't even care about the American stuff anymore.
No, but I mean, time's passed.
Mhm.
It's not to say that that stuff isn't fun and they might not enjoy the odd thing, but it's past. And when I look at our stuff more like WWE or WWF for those who are
Right.
old
Right.
enough, right?
Right.
And I look at their stuff more like it's rock and roll.
Right.
Like when you look at the characters Japan puts out, it's like a David Bowie, a Michael Jackson, a Prince. There's something very not just fresh about it, but very more pop culture in a
Right.
different way, a little grittier, a little more interesting. Our
Right.
stuff, we keep trying to take older stuff and fit it to this new era. And I think
Right.
that's a mistake. I think
The
we have to,
reboots in the
yeah, we got to create new things. And I find that a lot of talent's being wasted keeping old things alive. Not to
Yeah.
say that it shouldn't be there, but I think it's time that a risk was taken.
It shouldn't be in the forefront, you know?
No, no.
And I think that's the issue is that, but again, it comes back to IP. It goes back to royalties. It goes back to,
Absolutely.
you know, like, do we want to share anything with these people? And the answer is no, they don't. They really don't.
No. I mean, they used to have the contracts for Jack Kirby. His contract was on the back of his check,
Mhm.
So, the contract literally saying you give up your rights to the characters. Of course, if you've got a family like Jack did, what do you do? Do you sign the check to cash it
Right.
and feed your family? Or are you stubborn and you go get a lawyer? That just wasn't an option. Like
Right.
the mob literally used to run the comic book industry,
Yes. Quite literally.
and it still relatively does today.
Mhm.
It's more lawyers than anything else. So we're in that, and we've been hearing for years that comics was going to fall apart.
Right.
It hasn't really, I mean, it's diminished, and I remember just the racist, I'm still sure it's there, towards manga, as opposed to looking at it going, fuck.
It's taken over the world because they neglected to compete with it.
Well, instead of looking at it going, okay, so what are the things that we can take from it that can help us? What are the things we can't do because we can't have people pumping out 8 pages a week,
Right.
shoving them in hotels and saying, you finish your deadline or else, you can't be doing that.
Right. Right.
So sort of adapting to doing something really awesome. The obsession with making characters that should be cartoon characters into real movies. And I've said this before. I think that Into the Spider-Verse are some of the best Spider-Man movies.
Oh yeah.
I think it captures more of a feeling that you just can't get in film.
Even what's his name? Jamie Foxx said in that movie where they had the three Spider-Mans, he said, I just feel like there's a black Spider-Man somewhere. He made a mention about Miles Morales in the movie. I was like,
Yeah.
why didn't they cast someone for Miles Morales to be in that movie?
Man, people are freaking out about Miles.
Yeah.
I remember, even Corbett, or however you pronounce his name, Stephen Colbert,
Yeah.
making jokes about, oh, he's black and Latino. And to me, it was just like, seriously, are you that ignorant?
Right.
Like, you can, and that's a white liberal,
Right. Exactly.
So there's a lot of really deep-seated ignorance within our culture, and people who think that they're down with it, right? Who are very ignorant. And unfortunately, these are also the people that that buy the Star Wars, the Batmans, and everything else. They don't want,
They
and
don't
when
want.
you do have a black character, they freak out.
They're so fragile.
Yeah. I think it has a lot to do with the imagination and fantasy and sci-fi is their treehouse, or they think it is. The imagination is where we get to keep everything under control. And when we come along and we want to say, no, man, that's not your treehouse, it's for everyone, they
Right.
freak out.
Yeah.
I remember walking in with Susie into comic stores in the States or even Canada. They acted like they've never seen a girl before.
Because they probably.
Yeah, now it's a little bit more accepted. Girls do go into the comic shops and stuff. I think they go more to the bookstores to buy the manga personally.
Right.
But there is a deep problem. And when you bring it up, they freak out. They freak out. I don't think that's going to change. I think that's just going to be our generation once we're in the grave. Maybe that's when things will start changing, but I don't see it changing. At least not for a while. So that's shitty that they're taking all your ideas, but
I know, dude. It's fucking ridiculous. It's like,
when I was younger and I was trying out for Marvel and DC, I would always try to do the most generic submissions, because my mom always said to me, be careful, they're going to try to steal your shit.
yeah, of course.
So far, I haven't seen any Black Panther mechs. That's the only thing that I came up with that I sent in, pitched.
It's like I mentioned the when Bronx Heroes first came out, like how they came out with the Signal, like which is like a black version of Black Power, but it's like, but then they did that with the Roach too. They did that with the Canton. They had this character called the Canterbury Cricket, and made such a big deal about it. It's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a big hit, and it literally was a one-shot comic nobody gave a shit about.
I think we've also
Moroccan instead of Hispanic. I was like, what the fuck?
We don't. The reality is, publishers and creators really don't know what's going to resonate.
Right.
That's something that we all have to accept.
Right.
We would hope that it will do well.
Right.
We don't know what's going to resonate. It might be, dude with tomato balls that might actually be the next Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You don't.
Right.
So them saying it's going to be a big deal. We Americans have this habit that if we tell you it's going to be a big deal, we'll do the opposite.
Right.
It's just instinctive, right? Oh, it's going to do this. Oh, no, it's not. It's really ingrained in us. We're kind of like contrarians in that sense.
Yeah,
So it's best not to say it. It's like, get it out there, get a buzz. They could do many things to do it, but you should never be your own PR person.
Right.
It's bad.
If
You
this
got
is
some
gonna
comments?
let's see. Let's check. Do we have comments? Let's
Any
see.
comments?
Yeah, actually we do. We have let's see right here.
Anyone calling us bastards?
What? Ghost drawing is a thing?
Yeah, Jimmy. Yeah, it is. It is. I've known a few ghosts.
Jack Kirby's contract on the back of his check. Thought you were speaking metaphorically. Nope.
Oh no, it was real, Jimmy. Yeah, it was.
Literally, quite literally, and dirty. Yeah, they did that for
Yeah.
a lot.
Oh yeah, very dirty.
All the way
Very
into the 90s. Yeah, they
Yeah,
say if
this
you
book,
cash the check, you agree to the following. All right.
there's a book I got to read. It's called Tomorrow Men. Susie
yeah.
read it, and it's all about the gangster shit that they did to those poor bastards. Meanwhile, if it wasn't for Kirby,
hmm
there wouldn't be
hmm
all these movies that they're making money from.
Yeah.
They could literally say, "We're going to give you 1%,"
Right.
and his family would have been set for generations.
Yeah.
But they didn't even want to give him 1%. They didn't even want to give him his health care because
Right.
he was asking for his pages back, and he was suing them to get his pages back. He needed to get his health care, and they're cutting him off from his health care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
The thing is, they said we'll give you the pages, but they want them to sign a contract saying that he wouldn't sell them. But he
Right.
needed money. Of course, he was going to sell them.
yeah, because he was sick.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's a dirty industry.
Yeah. It is. It's it's really disgusting. You know.
And it goes back a long time because there's a book that Will Eisner illustrated. He actually signed it for me. I have a signed copy called
Oh,
The
nice.
Dreamer.
Oh, I love that book.
The Dreamer, yeah. All about being a comic book artist back in the day and how he talks about how they were trying to unionize. And there's a
Right.
good deal of people who are like, we don't want to unionize with all this shit. Yeah. It's a sad thing. Yeah. Really
Yeah,
sad.
people that then try to unionize, they got rid of. They basically literally try to fire them.
Communists, right?
Yeah.
All because you just want a fair shake.
Yeah, God forbid. God forbid.
Here's the thing, though. We're not producing, whether it's music, the MJs and Princes and Bowies. In comic books, we're not having the Kirbys because, movies is drying up. Where's the
Right.
next Spielberg?
Right.
So they've squeezed everything. They're making all their money, but that's all they're going to have left is money.
Right.
When everyone gets bored of that shit, where do you go from there?
Just like the AI thing is already drying up. People
Quite literally drying up there's a lot of our water in the United States is literally draining all the water out.
It literally is. Yes, literally.
Yeah, so it's literally drying up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little ridiculous,
Too
So-
much control.
Now this is funny. I showed you that picture of my drawing when I was 15, 14, right? With the holding of the helmet and stuff. And I posted that on Facebook. Then there was this shit is hilarious. This is why I always laugh. Like they don't have ideas. Then they had a crisis cartoon. Look at this shit. Hold on a second. Let me remove this.
Well, that's what they hated Prince so much. He literally stood up there at an awards ceremony and he said,
He told
"There
them
is
off.
no industry without you,"
Yeah,
to the fellow musicians. And it's true.
it's true.
Same thing goes for creators and comic
They
book
get angry
artists.
'cause they're just bean counters.
Yeah.
They're just bean counters. Look at this. It's almost the same pose. So after I posted on Facebook, they have this series called Dream State. And then they released this literal drawing of an armored Robin, right? With holding a helmet. Now it's not the red head helmet, but it's like it's like you can't win.
No, you can't.
You can't
can't.
win.
And there's a lot of that.
Weeks
crap.
after the Facebook post, they posted that. Literally after.
Meanwhile, if you drew something that looked similar,
Oh, they'll come after you.
oh, you'd have like 10 floors of the Disney legal department on your ass,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know.
And then look at this. This is hilarious. You see this? This was from the Crisis cartoon, right? And I was like, oh, that looks kind of familiar. Now this ends up being John Constantine from the future, but they drew him like an old man with a beard. You know, whatever. Look at that. it's like
I tell you, I bet you they go through a lot of indie stuff to write.
it's like
I bet you that. I mean, the old comic book artists used to do that to each other back in
Yeah.
the 60s.
they did, yeah.
So people don't know that X-Men wasn't the first group of superheroes.
It was Doom
That
Patrol.
was actually Legion of Doom Patrol.
Doom
It was
Patrol.
Doom Patrol. And when they would go visit each other, the DC guys would visit the Marvel guys, and
Yeah.
vice versa. Be like, hey, let's try to see, what are you working on, man? They're like, I don't know. And they would swipe stuff. And
Yes. I spoke to Arnold Drake about that, who created the Doom Patrol when the X-Men movie was first dropping. I went to him, I said, hey, Arnold, what do you think about this new X-Men movie coming out? Don't you feel
oh God, oh God.
And he was fucking pissed because you know why? He was selling Doom Patrol trade paperbacks, right? Like he was selling, I guess, the equivalent to this at the show, right? I might have bought this off of him that day, but he was selling these, right?
Mhm.
Show when the X-Men dropped, and he was like, I hate to admit it, I denied it for a lot of years because I love Stan. I had a lot of respect for Jack. But he says, yeah, they fucking still. He says, now that this movie came out.
Oh, like the guys in a wheelchair,
Right.
yeah.
And then they finally do a Doom Patrol show. It's a hit, but it's like so stupid. I don't know why they decided to go with the direction they decided to go in. Like make it more like a Deadpool thing. But I mean, I don't know if you've seen the Doom Patrol show. It's fucking awful.
Oh yeah, it was with didn't it have the
Brendan,
guy from the Mummy series in it?
yeah, Brendan Fraser. Well, they had his
Brendan
voice.
Fraser. I watched the first season. I didn't continue.
What the fuck
Yeah,
is this? And that was a brilliant series. The one that Grant Morrison wrote was really good, and it was almost like a slap in the face where they decided to make it a parody. I'm like, this was like imagine taking a horror movie, and I don't. They've done this with Swamp Thing too, like with when they had what's her name, Heather Locklear in it, and they just turned it into a comedy. Like they're always. Meanwhile, they're taking regular superhero movies and trying to make them like horror. But then you take a horror themed thing, like not that Doom Patrol was horror, but it had those more darker tones to it,
right.
and then you make it into a parody. I don't understand.
Producers.
You know?
I took film in college. I've told you that before.
Yeah.
And I took a course on the business of it. And a lot of times, in order to get the money from whether it's a bank or a private individual or whatever to make a film or whatever, you have to make certain concessions. So they might be like, yeah, but you know, I really think it would be better like a Deadpool. Deadpool made a lot of money. And you're like, oh, shit, but it's really actually kind of cool this way. Well, I don't know if I want to put money into this shit. You're like, oh, God. All right. Okay. What if we had some comedic elements? I was thinking more of a Mel Brooks. All right. I don't know about that. You want that money? All right. So you're basically enslaved to these people who are forcing you. And this is what a lot of people don't know. And the fans are like, well, why is it like this? It's because these creators, it's not that they want to do that. They have to.
Right.
You're subject to these people who, oh, I want my daughter in this. Well, she's not an actress, but you know what? I'm going to put a lot of money. All right.
Yeah.
And really, that's the power of it. It sucks that it's that way, but it's that way. It's not like they sit down and go, well, we're going to talk with the legions of fans. We know that they're all going to like this.
Right.
And, no, it's not about that. It's like 1, 2, 3 people, banks.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if your movie is behind on schedule, the insurance companies sometimes, if it's really behind schedule because there's money involved, will send in a director to hurry it up to finish it.
Right.
So there's a lot of pressure in that industry that's not talked about. Like again, I say the shit that makes it up there. Be very impressed that it actually you even get that much.
Right.
You know, because you're dealing with egos. You're not dealing with people who are
Right.
for all the bean countering that they do. The greed, which is an emotional perspective,
Right.
makes them think that somehow their vision is more important than everyone else's. And that's just the fact.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just a fact. You know. Then you add race into it. Fuck. You
Yeah.
know. Even Sinners, like Ryan Coogler was saying, he was given pretty much free reign on it. But they wanted to cut out the one scene, which is the best scene in the movie,
With
which is
the time lapse, right? With
the
the
time lapse. They
yeah,
wanted to cut that out.
that was beautiful. There was a
That was
freaking
beautiful, you know.
there was a movie
For anyone
called
else who say it was like From Dusk Till Dawn, I'm gonna
Mhm.
be brutal. One, it's not. Two, Dusk Till Dawn is basically Vamp.
Basically, yeah. I
Basically
wasn't a
Vamp.
fan of Dust to Dawn because of I was at the age where I was just like, I don't understand how you can make light of murder like the way they were doing it, like when they killed them.
Right.
I
Right.
didn't like I didn't like I didn't like Tarantino's character. Uh,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was just,
Tarantino ruins many a movie.
yeah, I was just like, this is to desensitize people. I felt that was like, I mean, the movie sucked personally. But I know that people love it, but I just felt that that was like a really in your face way to desensitize people from having any sort of humanity.
Yeah. Well, mostly those zombie films tend to be like that too.
Yeah, and and
And
that's what I'm.
I'm a big fan. I have enjoyed and I still enjoy Dust Till Dawn. And I agree with you. I'm not a fan of Tarantino.
Yeah,
If they could magically put somebody else in place for that
right,
character.
right,
But he did play a good psycho and he's a horrible actor.
right,
So I think maybe he revealed a little bit more of himself.
right. Yeah,
Did like Salma Hayek in it.
I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah.
good acting in there. I love Cheech Marin. There was a lot of moments that were
Yeah.
funny, but just
But I agree with you. There was that time in the 90s, they were desensitizing us. Keep in mind that Weinstein pushed all those movies.
yeah,
And Weinstein's very heavily was actually his security team was Israelis.
yeah, just like
So
Charlie Kirk.
just except Weinstein's in jail. And
But I mean,
Kirk was a sprinkler for a moment. Yeah.
right.
So yeah, no, I agree with you. There's something in the 90s like
Yeah, they're really pushing that. And Pulp Fiction, especially, was one of those films that people rave about Pulp Fiction, but I saw that movie in the theater multiple times. And the
I
Bronx
saw it
people
once,
were
yeah.
out of it the minute that John Travolta started dancing. Fuck this movie. Like literally half the theater left. And then I saw it in New Post, New York. And when Sam Jackson shoots that white kid, the flock of seagulls kid, all these white people ran out like terrified when he was screaming the Bible verse. He was like, and I
It's not even a real Bible verse either. It's, although Hegseth thinks it is.
yeah, but it was like when he started saying that Bible, Ezekiel, people literally ran out of the theaters like terrified, like white folks were.
Man.
But it shows you the level of desensitization for people in the Bronx. Like it was a packed theater, and like literally the theater emptied out when as soon as John Travolta started dancing. They were like, "What the fuck is this movie about?" But for the white folks, it's like the minute that white kid gets killed by a black man, right? And then even though Travolta was with him, they were so scared, the racism, right? People were like, "Oh my God." And then they ran out,
A friend of mine told me, I'm not a fan of Pulp Fiction. I think it was really well written. And by the way, he didn't write it himself either.
Of course.
Tarantino had a co-writer, which he eventually, even though they won the award together, he got him to sign a contract that it was a Tarantino film. So you might still see his name as a credit, but
Right.
Tarantino gets all the credit, but it wasn't all him.
Right.
But I think that there's some anti-black issues in that, which
Big
were
time.
very disturbing. And
Big
a
time.
friend of mine was telling me he was in the theater
Yeah, the whole thing
watching
was forward too. Yeah.
Yeah. So my buddy, who's he's white, he's a nice guy. Nothing wrong with being white, right? And he
Mhm.
says, I'm sitting in the theater, and he says, sitting in front of me, like 2 rows down, is this big black dude watching it. And then the scene where
Lamar just got his head blown off.
no, the dude gets raped.
Oh, that was even
He
crazier.
says this guy stands up and goes, fuck that shit. But, when I was watching that, I was like, and the excessive use of the N-word, and then
Yes.
Tarantino used it.
Also, again, again.
Tarantino used it. Then I found out that his stepfather is black.
Right.
As I'm looking at that, I'm thinking, this dude has some issues with black men.
Right.
And I know Samuel L. Jackson's come out, oh, he's not racist. And then it came out the shit that he said about Bruce Lee, which led to Bruce Lee's daughter coming out and
Right.
telling him to shut the fuck up. Because he
Yes.
painted him as this quite literally, he painted him as this uppity Asian dude.
Yep.
Starting shit. And it's like, he's so incapable of rolling back to time, realizing it was hard for us black people, but it was also hard for Asian people in the 60s. Like when
Right.
Bruce Lee did what he did, he was trying to break the image of a docile Asian man,
Right.
right? And he's in a world with all these white dudes who are like Tarantino.
Right.
And he could have chosen a much funnier thing that happened, that actually really happened. Because one of his students was, he's the guy from Bullet. Oh, what's his name? McQueen.
Right. Steve McQueen.
You
Yeah.
can look this up. This is the fucking funniest shit ever. So I don't know if you know this, but McQueen loved to drive around fast.
Mhm.
He had his race car. So one day he decides to pick up Bruce, who's his teacher. He says, hey, I want to take you on a ride. I want to show you how this car rides. He's like, all right. And he starts zipping around. I think it was LA. Super fast. And Bruce Lee is literally white knuckled, grabbing the side of his car because he's like, stop. You're going too fucking fast. I'm gonna fucking kill you if you don't stop. And McQueen's like, come on, isn't this great? And that, to me, taking something real that happened that's actually hilarious would have been much better than having Brad Pitt's character beat the shit out of Bruce Lee.
Right.
Right? Because at least you would have gone, okay, that did happen. That is kind of funny.
Mhm.
And instead of like this weird dream. Now, I don't know if you know this, but that character Brad Pitt played was supposed to be Judo Gene LaBelle.
Mm.
Have you ever heard of Judo Gene LaBelle?
Mm-mm.
Apparently, he's the guy that got Bruce Lee into doing more grappling techniques. That's how the story goes.
Right.
So he has always been, he was a wrestler, a judo guy. He's still alive, I think. And one day, Bruce was doing all this stuff with the stunts, as Tarantino complained. So they decided, okay, let's get Gene to calm this guy down. It was on the Green Hornet.
Right.
So apparently Bruce went to do something, and Gene grabbed him and picked him up. And Bruce said, holy shit, I want to learn what you're doing. And they had a friendship that actually created a friendship between LaBelle and Bruce Lee. And that's how I got him from just kicking and punching to them wanting to do grappling. And there's a teachable moment there. By the way, Judo Gene LaBelle also choked the shit out of Steven Seagal.
Wow.
Steven Seagal kept, in one of their sets, was beating the shit out of the stunt guys, like really hitting them. And I don't know who said it, but someone said, yeah, Gene could choke the shit out of you or something like that. He's like, no, right? So he goes over, puts him in this in this chokehold. Who's that guy? Kevin Hart tells the story, really hilarious. He says, all of a sudden, you see Seagal's head go red, and you hear, and you just smell the shit, and all of a sudden you see
Oh,
Steve
God.
dashing to the bathroom.
Oh my goodness, shot
He
himself.
shit himself. But yeah, so to tell you some martial arts movie stories, I had to tell you that.
Did you
And
study martial arts when you were younger?
oh yeah, my brother, well, my nephew who comments all the time, Jimmy, he made it to the World Games in judo.
Oh wow, that's big time.
Yeah, so my brother was like Mr. Martial Arts. He got me into it. I studied for about 14 or 15 years, yeah. And he
Nice.
got me boxing, taekwondo, kickboxing, went
Yeah.
off to create his own art. And yeah, he was super obsessed with that. Loved Bruce Lee, all that stuff. So yeah, no, that kind of world is, I'm very familiar with it in
Yeah.
that sense. I just like, so when I saw Tarantino's shit on Bruce, I'm like, dude, you could have chosen many things. Like, but
Yeah.
he wanted to have a white man humiliate Bruce.
Right. That was what it was.
And that's really what it was. When he uses the N-word, and I don't give a shit if he's black.
Mhm.
There's a lot of hatred behind that shit. And
Lot
I know
of-
Samuel Jackson's come out and said, oh, he's not racist. Dude, you're getting paid.
You're
You're
getting
getting
paid.
those fucking paychecks.
Right.
They call you the N-word. You're like, man, how many zeros are you going to put behind it? Yeah, you can call me the N-word all day. And
Right.
it's very simple. But
Right. It's
yeah.
over times in that. It's like ridiculous. Which goes to say, like, right here, like, soft-minded man always fears change. He feels security in the status quo, and he has an almost morbid fear of the new. For him, the greatest pain is the pain of a new idea. Right? It's like,
Yeah.
that's exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah. That's, and unfortunately, that's, I would say overall the West.
Yeah.
I see a lot of really wild shit coming out of China in terms of technology, and I'm praising them on technology. I really don't. I haven't lived in their society, so I can't really tell you beyond that.
Right.
But their technology, they're just leaps and bounds. You keep hearing all the shit they're doing, and what are we doing? Oh, 30 million gallons of water for fucking cat videos and Superman. Like, what are we doing here?
We're destroying our society.
I'll add one other thing to what Dr. King said. I think that we Westerners too often define ourselves by our enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a problem, because when we can't imagine not having enemies.
Right.
And that's a very shallow existence.
Short-sightedness, yeah.
Yeah.
And with that, we got the history of Iran. Well, we got to laugh a little bit first. Let's watch this real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on, we got this. Let's see this guy. I don't know if you've seen this.
Sir, the Iranians aren't responding. Will you just wait for a second? Can you wait? The best part of the song is coming up. Listen. The synthesizer.
But sir,
Do. Just give him a little longer, will you please? Okay? I like this. Okay? It's better than the alternative. I like it.
It's like, but then we got the history. This guy gives a brief history of Iran.
You like history? I
Before you
like
talk
history.
about
What I
this,
don't
I
like
wanna-
is
I
getting
wanna
lied
mention
to. So
something
when I hear
about
motherfuckers say, we've been at war with Iran for 47 years, I'm like, why don't you tell them the whole fucking story, right? Because it is Britain, it is oil, but it's also the CIA. So let's start at the beginning. In 1901, Britain goes into Iran and they secure oil rights because nobody in the Middle East gave a fuck about oil. They didn't care. They were like, whatever, we're not industrialized. We don't have a use for it. By 1909, Britain is developed oil fields and they're pumping oil out of Iran. This continues up until 1951, when Iran, a fledgling democracy at this point, their prime minister, Mossadegh, he had the audacity to be like, hey, this oil that's underneath our feet, shouldn't Iran be getting the money for that oil since that's our resource? Like, we should probably nationalize that. The CIA and Britain were like, what the fuck are you motherfuckers doing? Like, no, we're here to fucking rule, pillage, and steal. So in 1953, the CIA, backed by the British, overthrow the Iranian democracy and they install a Shah. The CIA trains up their secret police, the Savak, and there's massive censorship and the murder and assassination of political dissidents. And this This goes on all the way through the 70s when the massive wealth gap starts to appear, and the elites, they're all braining in the money, and everybody else is poor as shit. You got fucking students start protesting in 1978. In 1979, the revolution really goes full scale when the Shah has to leave the Iran for the United States for some cancer treatment, and the whole fucking country erupts. The college students get the genius idea. They're like, hey, we should go over to the U.S. Embassy because we're thinking that there's documents in the U.S. Embassy that prove that the CIA overthrew our government in 1953. So these fucking students, they go down, and the government that was in power, they called up the fucking CIA, and they were like, yo, you guys down at the U.S. Embassy, you need to get the fuck out of there. So everybody bailed out. The only people left in the fucking embassy, they were a bunch 50 CIA spooks. They're in there just shredding documents like a motherfucker when the fucking students crawl over the fucking gates and storm the fucking embassy. They seize it all. Hog tie up all the fucking CIA dudes, and they're like, where's all this shit? And they're like, we shredded it all. These Iranian university students are like, dude, we like puzzles. We'll start putting this shit together. They take all the shredded documents, they go around to the middle schools and the high schools, and they hand them out to all the kids. They're like, put these documents back together. Not only did they discover that, yeah, there were documents there proving that they had overthrown the Iranian government in 1953, Tehran U.S. Embassy was actually the CIA head for all the fucking spying in all of Asia. So not only did it out the fucking overthrow in 53, but all kinds of evil shit that was going all over on in China. And so the CIA's just pissed as fuck because the students tape all this shit together and they publish all the documents out there. That's why we know the Iranian government was overthrown in 53, because the Iranian people showed us all. So that was when the British and the CIA got kicked the fuck out of Iran. How did the CIA take it? Not very well. In 1980, they talk fucking their neighbor, Saddam Hussein, over there in Iraq to start a war with Iran. And the CIA gives Iraq all the fucking weapons they want, all the worst shit. They give them chemical weapons, VX, sarin, mustard gas, all the worst chemical weapons. Iraq throws 1 million men at Iran, never gets anywhere, attacks them with gas. 1 million fucking bodies hit the fucking ground. Iran never retaliates with chemical weapons. It never stoops to weapons of mass destruction. It's like, we're not going to do it. At the same time, this goes on for fucking goddamn 8 fucking years, the Iraq fucking war. And they never make a dent in Iran. The tanker wars also erupt at the same time. And there's a bunch of shit that goes on in the Persian Gulf and in the Straits of Hormuz. And everybody learns the lesson that, like, holy shit, dude, you can't fuck with Iran. Right? So in 1988, the UN brokers a ceasefire between Iraq and Iran, which ends one of the bloodiest wars of modern history. And that's why every military person knew, up until Donald Trump, that you can't fuck with Iran, because we backed Iraq with all of our top fucking shit and dirty weapons, chemical weapons, weapons of mass destruction. We gave them to Iraq. They used them against Iran. And then Iran watched us turn on Saddam Hussein and fucking overthrow his country after we had used him and propped him up. The CIA created Saddam Hussein and then threw him at Iran. And then when he fucking had outlasted his usefulness to the CIA, then they fucking destroyed him. You see how that works? So what's going on now? Everybody, the CIA has been mad about this their entire fucking lives, right? Like, they're pissed off because they got outed. All their spies got outed in the entire Asian area. Like, Iran fucking outed the dirty CIA in this whole 47 years. The CIA has been trying to get back at them. CIA, Mossad, they are like this. Israel is the deep state, right? So the deep state's been trying to get every fucking president since Carter to fucking go back in there and start a war with Iran. No one would fucking do it because it can't be done. You can't.
It's long, so we'll leave it at that.
Yep. I was
mean,
going to say before we started the video that for those out there, that dude's actually conservative.
Right.
I know, like last week, I was saying you can't get conservatives to actually learn the history of the CIA. I commend it because he actually, I've seen videos before all this, the Epstein stuff broke. And now, since the Epstein files, he's done like a 180. Not
Oh, yeah.
saying he's going to vote, you know.
Even Tucker Carlson, surprisingly, and I'm like, can't stand the
Well,
bow tie guy, but
I
it's like,
understand why Tucker's doing it
yeah,
more than him, because this is just a regular guy. For Tucker, he comes from the Swanson family, the Swanson.
yeah.
So he's trying to protect America's place in this planet because it affects, it will most likely affect his fortune, right?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
see it more from a greedy place. But this guy actually has deep dived, and it's really nice to see that. I wish more of us left and right started to deep dive and learn this history.
Yep, exactly.
But yeah, no, it's true. Here's the thing he also missed out on. Iranians are known for making carpets,
Hmm.
the Persian carpets. So that's one of the reasons that skill is what allowed them to put together all those shredded pieces of paper back together again.
And there's
Yeah.
like 5 books that you can actually read about this, so people can fact check us, you know, and this dude. We got this nice thing here. We got this book, Mossadegh and the Struggle for the Power in Iran, Patriots of Persia. You got All the Shah's Men, The Coup, 1953, the CIA, the roots of the modern U.S.-Iranian relations.
And I think it was
Yeah.
FDR's son, Kermit Roosevelt, or his nephew or something, that was part of that whole coup action
Yeah.
in Iran.
So there's a lot of information out there that people can educate themselves on. You know, we love comics, but you know, we gotta expand our horizons sometimes, especially in the face of World War III.
Well, I think if you're a good creator, you have,
Mhm.
or if you want to be a good creator, there's always that struggle. But do you have different interests outside of just comic books?
Mhm.
You are what you read,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And if you want to get really good plots,
Yeah. It's good to
yeah,
read.
don't be ripping them off from other comic books. There's plenty in real life, they'll
Yeah,
freaking
plenty of stuff. Plenty of stuff out there. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
plenty of stuff.
Yeah.
I just learned about this black woman cartoonist, Jackie.
Jackie Orms.
Yeah, but I knew about her, but I didn't know they had like an 800-page file on her on the FBI.
Really? FBI.gov. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah,
Right
because they found that, well,
now. Yeah,
J. Edgar Hoover
they
was looking
kicked
for the
her
Black Jesus.
like Robinson, like Paul Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last thing they wanted was black unity. Meanwhile, at no point in American history have black people wanted revenge.
Exactly.
Just wanted to mind our own fucking business, raise our kids, have jobs, and just enjoy life. You know, and never at one point it's like, yeah, let's go over there and kill all the whiteys. But when we're building things like Greenwood, we have our places bombed and destroyed, right? So,
Yeah.
by the way, J. Edgar Hoover, his mother passed. She was black.
Oh yeah, he was
They never found his birth certificate, which is another sign that they knew he had black ancestry.
Yeah, he was black and gay.
Black and gay. Oh yeah, yeah. Meyer Lansky, the mafia guy, had pictures of him doing stuff with his number 2. That's why for a long time J. Edgar Hoover said the mafia didn't exist. So he was being blackmailed.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. That's the whole the black mailing network goes beyond Epstein. You go back to the 60s. You have Charles Manson, right? You have a bunch of, you know.
Even before then, in the 30s and 40s in Hollywood.
Yeah, throughout our whole history. I mean, that goes with espionage, right? That goes with a whole bunch of the whole history of how do you collect data, right?
Yep.
You know,
in a way, I would say confession.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the Catholic Church had this first surveillance system.
Right.
Oh, I'm going to go to the local priest And then you tell the priest all the shit that you're doing. Yeah, I was,
Yeah.
I was with my goat. Then I saw my wife, sister. It's not now the priest now has all the shit on you because you think you're telling this priest all your sins and he's going to absolve you, but now he has something on you.
Right.
And if they decide, oh, you're a witch, you're fucked.
That land. They want that land. You
Gotta have that land. Yeah.
That's the way it is. I mean, that's what it was. A lot of single women that had land and they weren't married. They didn't have any children. They're like, oh, they're witches. Let's take that shit.
Or they're very good looking, and
Yeah.
the priest, being a dude, wants to get it on with her, but she says no, and he's like, all right, well, you're a witch.
Right. Exactly. It's over.
Taking the Me Too thing to another level, right?
Yeah. Jackie Orams, the FBI, and Patty, Joe, and Ginger. Wow. It's like they got a whole article on that. Wow. She was very iconic, because she had a black character as a daily newspaper for years. It became a movie. She had a doll.
Yeah.
I mean, and there was a whole bunch of stuff that she accomplished. And this is like during a time of segregation and stuff and Jim Crow and all this. So,
Well,
I mean, but to be
the
the comics
problem-
lightening her up, like making her lighter. As she got more popular, they started making the character lighter and lighter.
And one of the problems wasn't necessarily just segregation.
Right.
It was integration, because what happened was there were a lot of black-owned banks.
Yep.
So it wasn't necessarily integration because you married someone who was white. It's
Right.
because now all of a sudden the banks now could take your money. So in the black neighborhoods, what you have is most often the dollar stays there for one time and leaves.
Exactly.
Before, it could be 6, 7, 8, 9 times within the black community, right?
Very true.
So I mean, segregation was bad, but it also, on the other side, the flip side, the black community tended to stick more together.
Yes.
And
that's how they were able to amass their wealth. But then, of course, they, it's always been. Sorry, I was looking for a Jackie Orms book that I have, but it's not there. It's somewhere else. I got too many.
You can find reprints of that.
I have
Torchy Brown?
Yeah, I have a book on the history of Jackie Orms and Torchy Brown and her. She was, very political. They considered her a communist. I think
Whenever you want your rights, you're considered a communist.
Well, because Robinson had that whole blacks going to Russia because they were being treated equally.
They were going to name a mountain after him in the Soviet Union because he went to visit.
Yeah.
And it's here where he gets himself in shit in Paris because he just visited the Soviet Union.
Mm-hmm.
Stopped by here. He was playing. I think he was at the Salle Pleyel, which is one of their big, kind of like their Carnegie Hall places.
Yep.
And he was going to start singing, and the French people were like, we love your singing and everything, but we just want to know what the Soviet Union is like. And he got in trouble for basically saying they're just like us. They just want the best for their kids. They want them educated. And that got him basically rolled out in front of the anti-communist or anti-American committee.
Yep.
The whole McCarthy. And they destroyed his life.
Well, I mean, think about it. This is what destroyed Kennedy, cost his life because he wanted to make peace with Russia, and then destroyed Nixon because Nixon was trying to make deals with China, right? Which, we wouldn't be going through what we're going through if Nixon didn't open up that thing with China right now. China wouldn't be the massive power that they are.
But on the other hand, if you consider as well, we have to consider as well, we went on the petrodollar because France called out our bullshit
Right.
over Vietnam, saying, you don't have that gold. I want my gold back.
Right, exactly.
So I think Nixon knew that the petrodollar would be something that was temporary. We couldn't hang on to it forever.
Right. And
which is happening right now. It's just disintegrating.
And Iran is going through a gold rush right now. They announced it. and then 2 months later they're being attacked by the United States. So it's like we want their gold more than their oil.
Yeah.
You know? They're literally going through a gold rush. They discovered 2 types of gold ore in Iran, and they're extracting it. So that means their value has gone considerably up as land with gold. I mean, think about the whole like war with Mexico. I mean, we took California for them because we discovered they had gold. It's like,
Well,
and the Mexicans weren't aware of it at that time.
well, you had that. You also had the first black president, which is in Mexico,
Mhm.
Vicente Guerrero, 1826. He's elected. 1829, even though he loses his life, he pushes through the abolition of enslavement. Mexico becomes part of the Underground Railroad.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't know. It was easier to hop over from Texas into there. So one of the excuses to get to that gold was Mexico's harboring runaway slaves.
Right.
And that was one of them. But yeah, no, there's a lot of sleaze. A lot of sleaze. The Civil War was really fought over what to do with the Western territories at the time.
Right.
Yeah. Vicente Guerrero. Yeah.
There goes.
First black president, way before Obama.
Way before Obama.
Way before Obama. Most people don't know that.
Mhm.
Most people don't know that there's a sizable Afro-Mexican population.
Right.
You know,
And there's also statues of Abraham Lincoln in Mexico. I saw that. I was shocked, you know. Yeah, have you seen that?
no, I haven't seen the statue. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
Yeah, it's in Tijuana.
interesting.
It's like,
I wonder why.
look
I
at
wonder
that.
why.
Well, there's a few of them, but there's one of him breaking chains. It's really wild.
Interesting. Yeah, like there's a lot of things that we don't know. I kind of chalk it up to it's a Spanish-speaking country,
Right.
and English-speaking countries tend to look down on Spanish-speaking countries
Mhm.
as though they're backwards.
Right.
And we know this from the sentiment that we have in the United States. And that's why a lot of Latinos try to, in Canada, we would say anglicize themselves, right? They want to become white.
This is the statue in Tijuana.
Interesting.
Yeah. They love Abraham Lincoln.
Interesting. Yeah, the Native Americans don't like him too much.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. You know, but the crazy thing about Lincoln, though, as he's fighting the Civil War, he was giving out contracts to the railroad companies for land out west. So the big thing was going to be out west. That they knew that back then.
Right.
But yeah, no, they looked down on Spanish-speaking countries. But this is the thing: not only did they give the Americas the first black president, but even the year, and this is hilarious to me. The same year, and you know, I know a lot of people don't like Kamala, but let's just think about it from a surface perspective. We have Kamala Harris running against Trump, and then we have Claudia Sheinbaum in Mexico.
Mhm.
Mexico voted for a woman before
Right.
the United States,
Right.
and yet Mexico is considered to be more sexist than the United States, right?
Right. But controversially, they call her the cartel president because every time someone criticizes the cartel, they end up dead. It's like so. This is so it's a has
Yeah,
the relation
they
of
say a lot of things. You
so he
know?
has like the chains there. So he's like breaking the chains of slavery. That's what he has, and that's pretty. Look at the cars in relation to. It's not a little
That's
stuff.
weird.
It's literally in the square right before you cross the border.
Oh, okay. So like in the Tijuana side going into the United States.
It's like a few miles from the border, yeah. But it's a really cool statue. But I think we covered a lot today. There's a lot more we could keep going for hours.
Yeah, we were going to talk about the Masons today.
Oh, that's right. We forgot.
We were going to talk about the Masons, but it didn't feel like a Masons kind of day.
I think with all the technical difficulties, it kind of like,
Yeah.
threw me off my game a little. I'm like, what am I doing? What's going
Yeah,
on?
that was kind of.
But I
don't
just
know.
discovered that I can go on YouTube live directly without StreamYard. So I might have to look.
Well,
deeper.
you did. I
I
just
did,
couldn't
yeah.
join you.
You can. I couldn't figure out the settings, and then Facebook Live from my phone. I know how to use it, but on the computer, it's totally different animal. So I know. So I was just like, "What's going on?"
It happens.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I said this at the beginning. Well, I don't know if that got on video, maybe made it to Facebook or not, but I was telling you before we actually started this live stream. I used to work for Bell Canada as
Right,
a dispatcher for technicians and stuff.
right.
It's probably why I don't really. Whenever I hear, "Oh, we're gonna do this," I'm like, "You'd be lucky if we get 10% of that. That's cute,
Right,
you know."
right,
I'm
right,
glad you're excited, right?
right.
But the list of things that happen that the public just doesn't know with our communication services, and then
Mhm.
you can just translate that over to our electrical grids and everything else. It's amazing we have what we have
Right, right.
because it's literally running on duct tape.
Yeah. I mean, every time someone crashes into a pole over here, we have like the wooden poles still, like back in the city when we were kids. Once in a while, when it rains or snows, somebody crashes into the pole speeding. It takes out the town's entire. You're talking about miles and miles just knocked out until they fix that
Yeah,
wooden pole.
yeah. I was hearing because basically our grid in the United States, I think it's like 4 grids or 3 grids or something.
Right.
But someone was saying if a cable breaks out in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
they don't know where it is. They literally have to drive around
To look for it.
to look for it. So here they are telling us, "Oh, we're gonna be this." No, we're not. There's no fucking AI shit. We got to fix our basic shit before we get to that. And
Right.
there's about 10 or 15 years before we get to that.
And
So
we're
it's
never
all
going to
smoke
get
and
there because we keep going to war.
going to war. Quite literally, the cost of fixing the electrical grid, Ray, back 10 years ago was 7 trillion. That's the exact amount that we dumped into AI.
Right.
So we literally put the cart in front of the horse. And we're like, we're going to beat China. No, we're not.
Right. Right.
We're not. We got to fix our own shit, you know?
Mhm.
And really, what does meaning beating China mean? What does that mean? So, yeah, technical difficulties are going to happen. These things are made by people,
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
know?
And we I'm not gonna play them today, we could play them next week. They have Lego videos about uh there's Iran is talking about that America is gonna be dropping poisonous ticks on the American population. It's like it's like wow, it's like
Well, Lyme disease,
Lyme disease was that
was
was
genetically engineered. They're
genetic,
dropping Roundup on our forests.
yeah. Which doesn't
They're
make any
dropping
sense.
Roundup.
They're just destroying everything.
I just don't get it. Like, I know that they have this idea. It seems to me from the Epstein emails, they sit around going, man, I fucking hate all these people. Meanwhile, they're on a fucking island away from the rest of us. They don't have to even be near us. They don't
Right.
even have to fly with us. They have their own private jets. And even then, they're like, we need to depopulate the world.
Right. It's like they've been saying this forever since I was a kid. I remember even in this like 70s as a young child, I remember them talking about depopulating the planet. It's like,
Well, one of the guys who started that whole, the population's too high, he was some weirdo sociologist or something. I might have it wrong. Forgive me. But the reason he panicked and he said that there's too many people, he thought of this when he went to India.
mhm.
So he's in some sort of like, I don't know, whatever those cart things are, the ones where the people run and they're
Right.
taking you. I forget the name of those things. And he's like all around, these brown people are all around him. And he's freaking out. So it comes down to their weird sort of obsessions. And it's like, dude, even with my own experience, I still wouldn't think that the rest of the world should. I have the right to tell everybody else what to do because of my limited experience. There's
Right.
millions of people on this planet, but they do. They'll sit there and they'll plot. We got to get rid of all these people. Like Bill Gates was out saying how AI is going to take over all these jobs. It's not going to do shit.
Yeah.
And There's going to be a lot of people who are useless, and then we're going to deem who stays around.
Right.
I'll say
China
this right now.
basically
He's
made,
useless.
China basically made a law recently. They passed a law that's saying that AI cannot replace jobs that humans took,
Yeah.
and we don't have that.
Dude, they got 1.4 million people. A
Yeah.
country started on a revolution. We don't like to think of it, but it was a people's revolution, whichever way you want to. And you're going to take away their jobs for AI? For what end? You're going to have 1.4 billion people rebelling. Good luck trying to control that shit. And it's the same thing in our country. We only have 2 million cops, military combined. We're 347 million people. If we all said, fuck it, they wouldn't even know what to do. They don't have it. That's why they couldn't stop Minnesota. Minnesota's what, like 6-7 million people? And ICE couldn't control it. They know that. But but we don't know that. So we freak out and we're like, oh, they're going to have Skynet. They're going to have this. And of course, it's our fear that keeps us in check.
Right. Oh, I almost forgot.
What you got?
I almost forgot what you were talking about earlier. The whole Simpsons thing with the
X-Files.
The X-Files. Yes. I almost forgot. Let's hope that we don't get blocked for this.
Well, it's at the tail end, so we could just snip it, right?
Yeah, let's hope we can. Let me see. It's in here somewhere. That'd be a good way to end this episode.
Sure.
Yeah, let's see. It's in here somewhere. It's in here. I keep
play the videotape. Remember that?
To the video. Back to
the video.
I'm telling you, there's so much stuff. Even ICE, like you don't hear things about ICE, but so much is still going on with ICE. But they're trying to, and the aliens, and oh my god, there's a bunch of shit.
There was one, I swear, Ray. They had a picture. It was sort of like a negative. And it was two agents holding an alien by the hand. But I looked at it and I'm like, that looks like a fucking little monkey in a suit.
Right. Probably is.
It probably is.
It probably is. It's probably
like,
a monkey in a suit.
Like, the CIA are professional liars. Why do we take anything that they say truthfully? Yeah. That's what their job is, to lie to us.
Right, exactly.
To lie to us.
And they are the deep state, they talk about deep state this, deep state that. If there was one, I always thought it was funny, the whole deep state thing. I was like, it's both of them. It's both parties. It's like
I'm of the mind that there's only the imperial state.
Right.
There's an empire that needs to be served, and it doesn't matter which side it is. There isn't anything deep about it. It's there. The only thing that keeps us from seeing it is the lies they tell us. So
exactly.
Oh, you got the Simpsons one. Okay, not the.
Yeah, this is both. It's both. It's both.
Look, that's our ship.
Purple. Some of this is bullshit. I looked at this.
Yeah.
An emergency message. Outbreak of the deadly virus is spreading rapidly.
A virus?
A worrying new challenge in efforts to contain the hantavirus.
All we want right now is to feel safe.
That guy was an influencer.
For now, nobody is being allowed off the boat.
All ships must remain at sea.
Have fun! My booze!
It's the same disease that killed Betsy Arakawa, the wife of late actor Gene Hackman.
According to the newspaper, FEMA was called out to manage an outbreak of the hantavirus. I'm saying it wasn't the hantavirus.
They're buying it. They're buying it.
Your father and I were recruited for a project that told us it was biological warfare, a virus. What killed those men? A silent weapon for a quiet war.
Look, that's our ship.
I find it funny that wasn't that guy in Mission Impossible, the old guy talking to Mulder? Wasn't he like one of the actors?
Did you know that guy started out? I forget the name of that. I seen him. He was always in the 70s.
Yeah, he's a big
80s
actor.
films.
Yeah.
But he started out as a comic book artist.
Did he really?
Yeah. Started as a comic book artist. Yeah, he was always like the quintessential villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Makes me want to watch that movie again. That was a good movie, the X-Files film.
Yeah, that series is fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoy that shit. But I enjoy it kind of from the perspective of urban legends. One. Two, there is shit that we can't explain.
Right.
But do I expect them to tell us? No.
No.
Come on.
No. This is all good fun.
Yeah, it's something you read about to get a break. You're like, yeah, okay, well, maybe someone out there is coming to visit us or something. Oh, cool, fine.
And here's where I put my disclaimer, right? Like, just because we air this stuff doesn't mean that we believe it 100%.
Yeah.
This is all meant for to ponder.
Do you remember that CNC Factory song?
Yes.
Things that make you go,
That's right. Even that lady wasn't the lady who was the voice of that lady, right?
That's right.
It's
What's wild about that is that Milli Vanilli did the same thing,
right?
And they got busted.
They got busted.
Hard.
They got in trouble hard. The other one,
Hard. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
I think one of them committed suicide too.
I think so too. Yeah.
I mean, they could have been models.
Easily, they were, and now with AI music, they're probably like, God damn it.
Yeah, they had some. The both of them had a hard life.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But makes you wonder: was the hair real? Was it extensions? It's like fake voice.
Things that make you go, It's actually wild seeing the younger generation, Gen Z, discovering all the music from the 90s.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, but I think that's
the Cure. I'm like, what? And the Smiths, like, what?
I think it's a testament to the damage. Like, you know how you're talking about in the 90s, there was a concerted effort to desensitize us.
Mm-hmm.
In the music industry, is the same thing.
Absolutely, with the
P. Diddy. And by the way, did you see Princess Fergie? She came out and said that she was friends with P. Diddy, but with benefits.
Really? She wants to get in the headlines now.
Yeah, so she's hanging out with Epstein and P. Diddy and getting some from both.
Oh my God. Makes you feel bad for Pee Wee taking all that heat. I mean, they went after Pee Wee and Michael Jackson harder than these guys,
Oh, yeah, because Pee Wee got busted for being in a movie theater.
Jerking off.
Yeah.
Which is a porn theater, which is what you're supposed to do.
But the question is, dude, you're like really rich.
Area for that.
You're really rich, or you're somewhat rich. Why aren't you just at home?
Yeah, why don't you should have some videotapes, some chicks. Oh,
and then there's Eddie Murphy that he had a Slate controversy too.
Yeah, him.
He got in that.
Richard Gere had the gerbil up the bum.
I remember the gerbil.
John Bon Jovi went to the emergency room to pump his stomach full of semen.
Oh, that was like standard. Like that was standard lore for a lot of people. They said that about Michael. They said that about Bowie. It was like almost like the fill in the blank.
Right.
Pump their stomach for semen. Just put whoever you don't like here.
Right. Well, we knew that the Richard Gere was true because after that came out, he all of a sudden became Buddhist with the Dalai Lama everywhere.
Oh, the tongue sucker.
Yeah, the tongue sucker. The Dalai Lama, really? You could fit a rodent up there? Go be my friend.
That's nasty. And who's Marilyn Manson? They said that he had his ribs removed so he could fellatio himself.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That was fun. That was actual news. I remember that. I was like, what the fuck?
That made it everywhere too.
Right. That was like, that's
Across
before
yeah, we heard about
TMZ.
that there.
Yeah. After the Inquirer, before TMZ, and it still got out there. Now everything's the
Still
Inquirer.
got out there. Some crazy. And to me, I think that's fascinating. That's probably why I like the alien stuff. It's interesting to see how a story, which most likely isn't true, how it goes viral.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. It just shows it's commentary on media in general, right? Like it doesn't matter if it's true, it's newsworthy.
And before the internet, I mean, people would talk about all sorts of crazy
All
shit.
sorts of shit. Yeah, exactly.
And it would make it like everywhere. You're like, your guys heard about this shit over here? Oh yeah, we heard about it.
Yeah.
No.
I'm telling you, it's totally nuts. But I'm gonna call it a day. I think the family wanted to go somewhere. So.
Okay, no problem.
Well, you have a good night. What time is
too.
it there? It's what, 9
It's
o'clock?
almost 9 o'clock.
Wow, that's cool.
So I'm gonna.
I'm still mesmerized by our time zone, and we're still able to do this.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's wild.
It's weird. Yeah.
We're gonna be in reverse. I have to be in France, and you're gonna be in New York, and
With my luck, I'll end up in El Salvador with
with a jet lag.
Yeah, jet lag.
All right, we're gonna end this stream. Let's cue the music.
The apocalypse is coming. Are you scared? Are you prepared? The masses are running, frantically running from their fears, running with their tears, running from their lives, running from that dark shadowed creature that